Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. We are getting into the Creative Arts Emmy Awards, exclusive coverage from Gold Derby. These aren't televised live, so this is the only place you can hear the winners or watch and hear the winners announced live. I'm very excited for this show. It's one of my highlights of the year. This is where they give out awards for lighting direction and costumes and visual effects and cinematography and art direction. And tomorrow night we're going to have some guest acting awards too. And without these awards, the Creative Art Awards, Stranger Things would not be as strange. The Crown would not be the most expensive television show ever produced on TV. And Alec Baldwin would not look as fantastic as Donald Trump on SNL. So I'm pumped. I'm joined by Tony and Zach. How are we going, guys? Zach, what's at the forefront of your mind as we dive into what's going to be about a 3-hour sort of awards just coming at us left and right?
Well, I mean, you know, like you said, buckle in, folks. It's going to be a long night. You know, the thing that we look to the Creative Arts Awards for is, I guess, confirmation, if you will, of what shows are really the most popular amongst Emmy voters. Now, keep in mind, I mean, these are your below-the-line awards mostly. These are your awards for cinematography and editing and production design. But they do help us point the way towards what's eventually going to be our big Emmy winners on the primetime specials. So it's always exciting to watch these and kind of see where our predictions are going to be for the primetime show in a week from now. So that's what I'm looking forward to tonight and tomorrow.
Tony, what are you most looking forward to with these awards?
I think we're going to see some really interesting trends tonight, particularly with some of the variety winners. We're going to see, because a lot of political shows with political themes are nominated, you know, SNL and Samantha Bee and Stephen Colbert. And so we're going to be seeing a lot of, you know, just to see how popular SNL goes into this year with the most nominations. And seeing how many it's going to take home, I think, will be really interesting, setting the stage for what could be a really interesting Emmy night next week.
And we're going to get right out of the gate tonight with some of the sort of more politically themed awards, or awards that could particularly go the way of politics. The first 4 categories we have up are Variety Special Writing, Variety Special Directing, and then Variety Lighting Design. You can, I think, go onto Gold Derby right now, and there's a complete list of all the goldderby.com for a complete list of all the awards that are going to be out there tonight. Obviously, get into the forums at goldderby.com as well to join in the discussion about how these are going. Let's start to break down Variety Special. This is a big category with some big heavy hitters in television, one of whom is likely going to be walking away with an Emmy in a matter of minutes. Who are the nominees in that category, Zach?
You have last year's returning champion, Carpool Karaoke Primetime Special. You have Not the White House Correspondents' Center from a Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. You've got 2 Netflix stand-up specials, one Louis C.K. 2017 and the other Sarah Silverman, A Speck of Dust. And you also have Stephen Colbert's live election night special. Now, like you said, I mean, politics are at the forefront of everybody's mind, so it's going to be really interesting to see in this first award of the night. Do they go for Stephen Colbert or Samantha Bee, or do they go for a little bit of escapism, or do they do what they did last year and just reward Carpool Karaoke again?
What do you think, Tony?
I think one of the things that's interesting in this category, you know, one of the things that's been a theme throughout our discussions of the Emmys has been the possibility of vote splitting, and I think this category is really interesting because this could maybe give us some sort of insight, because you have 2 political oriented shows, Stephen Colbert and Samantha Bee. You got 2 stand-up specials, Louis C.K. and Sarah Silverman, and then you have Carpool Karaoke. And so one of these things is certainly not like the other. And so it'd be interesting to see if vote splitting is a thing, and paves the way for a win for carpool karaoke.
It's also going to be, I think, this award could in some way give us an indication of what might ultimately win for Variety Talk Series. Because if they're thinking to themselves, well, I really like Stephen Colbert or Samantha Bee or James Corden, and I want to give them something, maybe these are some awards that they could give them, which I think was one of the reasons why Carpool Karaoke won last year, was that they really liked James Corden, but they were going to give Variety Talk Series to John Oliver, and they wanted to give him something. So it's going to be really interesting to see, I mean, if this points the way towards a victory for either Corden or Samantha Bee or Stephen Colbert for Variety Talk Series, or if this is going to be like a consolation prize for one of those three people.
Yeah, I really think my prediction in this category is Stephen Colbert. I think this year he has had such a great year where he's sort of blowing up. And like last year, people were talking about the show struggling, maybe James Corden taking over the Late Show. There was all these sort of rumblings going around. And for consistently this year, he's been the #1 guy in late night, top ratings. And I think by delivering something that Hollywood really likes, which is a cutting edge a critique of the political system. So I think Colbert is the front runner here. However, and I think this is a way they can give it to him without necessarily giving him Variety Series next week, because I think John Oliver's looking very good to take out that again. So I think this could be Colbert's category to win. However, I'm with James Corden. I could see the Carpool Karaoke taking this out. Or even Samantha Bee. I really think this is a really tough race. But my money, I think Colbert by a nose.
I agree with you. And I think also the fact that, you know, I think that was the night where Stephen Colbert really came into his own in the late night show. As you talked about, Matt, you know, they was struggling for that first year, kind of trying to fill David Letterman's shoes. But I think that on election night, and you can kind of see it happening in that moment, he really became the Stephen Colbert that we've seen in this last almost year since Donald Trump has become the president. He really came into his own that night, and I think the people are going to reward him for that.
Yeah. While we're waiting for the winner in that category, do you want to have a quick look at the sort of writing nominees as well? Because we've got a lot of overlap in terms of the nominees there. Do you have them in front of you, Zach?
I'm getting to them right now. All right, so
I have them right here.
Tony, okay. Tony, you win. Read them out.
We have 4 of the same nominees. We have Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner from Samantha Bee. We have Louis C.K. for his 2017 special. We have Sarah Silverman for A Speck of Dust. We have the writers for Stephen Colbert's Election Night Democracy series finale. And the writers for the 70th annual Tony Awards.
What do you think, Zach?
Well, again, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if this is a consolation prize for a show that's not going to win for Variety Talk Series. I'm actually predicting Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner to win this, just because I think they're going to want to give Samantha Bee something, and I think that this could be a really good place to reward her for that. But, you know, don't count out people like Louis C.K. or Sarah Silverman to win awards for writing, which they have in the past, or even Stephen Colbert for that matter.
Never count out Louis C.K. in a writing category. He's struggled in the acting races, but he's always done very well and got a number of wins in the writing awards. I agree, it could be Samantha Bee. I think she's going to be dangerous in the writing categories for this and for series. I think the writing on that show is quite strong, and I think voters might be looking to reward her there. Tony, thoughts?
I think you're both exactly right. I don't think any one of these nominees can really be counted out because they all have something going for them. The Tony Awards in particular has, you know, some real significance because, granted, this was a ceremony that aired over a year ago, just at the beginning of the eligibility cycle for this year's Emmys. And that was the day of the Pulse nightclub shooting. And so there was a lot of emotion. James Corden did that really great speech at the beginning. and that was also the year of Hamilton, and so I would not count out the Tonys either.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Thought less of as a writer's showcase because a lot of it's just handing out awards and big production numbers and things like that. I actually think the Tonys might award shows can sometimes do better in directing than the writing races, but I'd agree, don't count it out. Who are the directing nominees that we're going to be looking at straight after?
Let me get to the... you can tell we're very prepared for this.
Yes.
I have Best Variety Special Directing. We have Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We have the Oscars. We have Stephen Colbert's Live Election Night Special, and we have Tony Bennett Celebrates 90. I don't know why there are only 4 nominees listed in this category. It seems like they could have found at least one other worthy director of a variety special, but anyway.
Yeah. Tony, what do you think?
I think this comes down to really 2. I think this could come down to either Hairspray Live, which is all about, big, bright, 1960s John Waters sort of color scheme. The Oscars are always the Oscars are always a really big kind of hit with this. So there's so many ways that this could go.
Mm. Yeah, I think it's sometimes hard for the talk show formats like Stephen Colbert to win out here. I think he's, of the 3 categories, Colbert's least likely one to win. I'd go with the Oscars. I just think that's sort of probably the one which will have is seen more of as direct. 4 nominees, they could sort of ping pong anywhere here, couldn't they?
Well, yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, if you want to talk about on-the-cuff direction, talk about this past year's Oscars ceremony. I mean, that guy could win just for that push-in on the Moonlight envelope alone. But I mean, seriously, I mean, if it's directors voting and they know they've worked in live television before, they may be like, oh, shit, like, would I have been able to handle that as well? Here you go, buddy. That's what I have predicted right now is the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah, and
by the way, I
think it's
really...
Yes?
No, I apologize for mentioning Hairspray. I was looking at the absolutely wrong page. Trying to jump around these nominations. It's not easy.
Full Frontal, the Oscars, Colbert Live Election Night Special, and Tony Bennett Celebrates 90, the nominees. I think it's really interesting when you look at the Oscars and compare it to something like Colbert's Election Night Special. The Oscars had to deal with something they weren't anticipating with the Best Picture snafu, and Colbert had to deal with something they weren't anticipating, and that's a Trump election win. And I feel like the Best Picture envelope thing was more of something where a director really needed to step up, and the election result being different than what was expected was where the writers really had to step up. And I wonder if that'll be
Colbert as well. I mean,
and Colbert himself, who is one of the writers on that show. So I think it's like, I wonder if the wins will sort of reflect that a bit in sort of the people who are had to sort of think on their feet a bit and deal with something they weren't anticipating on the night of the show.
Well, hasn't the Oscars won this category like quite a bit in one form or another? Because it seems to me that there's a lot of times where Zach, maybe you remember this as well, that they used to give this award on the regular show, and I think it was Louis J. Horowitz.
Right, yes.
And he would be directing the Emmys. And so they'd cut to the booth where he's getting an Emmy for directing the Oscars.
You're right, yeah.
It seems like that happened a lot.
You're right, yes, you're absolutely right, Tony. Yeah, back in the day when there were, I guess, a few less categories on the Primetime Emmy special. As they keep adding categories to both the creative arts and the primetime. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that for directors, they understand what kind of goes into a live production, and especially what goes into directing an award show, because so much of it is unanticipated, because you never know what the presenters are going to, or what the winners are going to do.
Tony's a bit of a snub here, to be honest, the Tony Awards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'd say they'd probably be my prediction to win if they were nominated.
Yeah.
So, big surprise, and yeah. Should we have a quick look while we're waiting for the winners of these first categories? I'm sure whoever's officiating the proceeding. Oh, sorry, Zach?
Oh, I've been refreshing our Twitter page.
Yes. Do we have a winner?
And I have not yet. No.
No, I've been checking the emails. We've got just a shout out to Chris Beecham and Marcus Dixon, who are at the Creative Arts Awards. They are our reporters on the scene who will be letting us know as soon as those envelopes are open, as soon as those winners are announced. So we've got some men on the ground there on the front lines of Emmy reporting today. So we've got one more variety category that's going to kick off for the night, and that is variety special lighting design. Who's nominated there?
Let me get, okay, variety special lighting design. Sorry, did you have it, Tony? Or?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, go ahead.
That's what screwed me up the last time. The nominees for lighting design for variety special are the 59th Grammy Awards, Hairspray Live, the Oscars, the Super Bowl 51 halftime show with Lady Gaga, and the Tony Awards.
Yeah. What do we think? This could go in any number of ways as well, I think. Zach?
I guess I'd have to give it to Hairspray Live. I mean, I think that, you know, these big live musical productions tend to do well here, especially, I think, after they've started to kind of blend some of the, like, more cinematic kind of filmmaking tropes into these live broadcasts. So I think that it's probably going to be for Hairspray Live, if I had to take a guess.
And if I just to chip on that, you and me, Zach, I believe last year were on the Warner Brothers sound stage.
We were, yes.
The day before Hairspray Live was being filmed. We were talking with the guys there, and weather was posing a bit of an issue.
Oh, you're thinking of Grease Live.
Oh, that was at Grease Live. Oh, well.
But
I'm a year off.
I was at.
I'm a year off. That's my bad story.
Chris and I were at the taping of Hairspray Live, so you're not.
Okay.
You're not
give us some insight.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, like Grease Live, which we were on the set for as well. You know, this is a massive production. There's multiple sets that are designed and have to be lit. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and I think that lighting designers probably appreciate that. And I think that's why it's going to win here.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what do you think, Tony? Do you agree that Hairspray Live?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think probably a surprising possible challenger could be the halftime show, because those are always.
Okay. Breaking news. We will announce our first winner for Best Variety Special. The winner is Zach.
Carpool Karaoke, 2 years in a row. Congratulations.
Done it again.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Corden's done it again.
Congratulations to Mr. James Corden and to all the producers of Carpool Karaoke. Well, it looks like maybe that, Tony, what you were talking about, that one of these things is not like the other. Looks like that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, this is going to be something we're going to have to watch, not just today, but and tomorrow and next weekend as well, to see if there is one thing that we were suspicious of last year, was the possibility of vote splitting, sometimes between the same show, but maybe sometimes just between similar shows. So yeah.
And it's only James Corden did win this award last year. There's a lot of support. Obviously, the people voting in this category really like the Carpool Karaoke, and it's a lot of fun. And maybe you need a bit of that against all the sort of four things that are very comedian centric shows. So bad news for Colbert and Samantha Bee. I thought they were forums where they had a really good chance of winning maybe a clearer path than they have in the variety series race next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think what'll be really interesting to see what goes in the writing category, which I believe is next, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the writing. Yeah, I believe writing is next. And this is the thing with people who haven't followed our coverage of Creative Arts Emmys in the past. The categories are very quick coming. Like, we'll get on a run and we'll be struggling to keep up with all the news as it breaks. There'll be some lulls, and then it'll be...
And then we'll get like 5 winners in a row.
5 winners in the space of a couple minutes. So I'm actually really waiting. Was that on Twitter, that winner? Is that where we got the winner?
Yes,
Did Chris tweet that out from... Okay. So you can also follow along Gold Derby at Gold Derby at Twitter to also get these breaking results. So yeah, you just finish off, Tony, about the lighting design. You think Hairspray's got it, but there could be an upset.
I think I never think Lady Gaga should be underestimated. You know, the Super Bowl is a great big spectacle. And particularly with such a big performer like Lady Gaga, and the amount of lighting that needs to happen in a very fast amount of time, she could certainly pose a threat, I think. But I think Hairspray is certainly out in front.
Gentlemen, we have our second winner. It was variety writing, and it looks like I was correct. It was not the White House Correspondents' Dinner for Samantha Bee.
Yes, she was always going to look dangerous in those writing categories. She broke into the variety series race this year. So great job to Samantha Bee. That's a really strong showing for her. And I'd say this doesn't, I don't think, say that she's necessarily going to win the variety series race next week. But I put a lot of stock now in her winning variety series writing. Like the writers branch, obviously, like what her team is putting together.
Yes.
Good for her.
Yeah, no, really great job. Someone who is somewhat, slightly surprisingly, but some would argue very criminally snubbed last year a lot at the Emmys, and she's really broken through this year. It's fantastic. We've got the directing race. That'll be coming in a matter of minutes. Then the variety lighting category, which we are predicting is going to go the way of Hairspray. But we'll see. After those awards, I'm going to see if we've got any reactions in the Gold Derby forums. Please post your reactions to these in the forums. We do not have any yet, so go to goldderby.com, go to the forums, and join the discussion about these winners as they break live. What after we have these variety races, and we're just waiting for the 2 winners of them now, we are going to be moving on to some reality competition races, reality casting, then variety non-fiction reality costumes, so a couple of different genres, and then reality picture editing and reality cinematography. Might be good to have a quick look at those reality races while we're waiting for more winners to be broken.
I have the casting nominees.
Okay. Fantastic.
The nominees for reality casting are Born This Way, Project Runway, RuPaul's Drag Race, Survivor, and The Voice.
Gentlemen, we have our third award of the night, excuse me. It's for variety series directing. That went to the Oscars.
The Oscars, yeah.
So this is Glenn Weiss again. So congratulations.
Yes, very good. Very good, Glenn Weiss during the Oscars. Award shows, big dangers in those directing categories. So as we wait for the lighting award now, Tony, do you want to race us through the nominees for reality casting?
Well, of the 5, I'm not as big of a reality watcher, but it just seems to me that it would. I could see probably RuPaul's Drag Race. That's a show that depends. I mean, all reality show really depends on the people that you cast. But that show seems to be so much in the zeitgeist right now. And Zach, I know you have you attended. Was it the finale? Was it?
I did. Yes, I did. And I mean, it is very reliant on the casting, I think. This show in particular, finding these drag queens for this competition, I think is really a feat of casting. Also, I think, you know, this show has kind of sprung up in popularity. I mean, for a show in its 9th season, I believe it is right now, to have gotten this many Emmy nominations, I think that's saying a lot. And I think that we can probably look for it to win this category and a few others, to be honest.
Look, I don't think it will win. I think RuPaul's Drag Race is a good call here. But I think the past season, the casting on Survivor, particularly for the Millennials vs. Gen X season, was very, very strong. And some of the best casting they've done on that show in their 20 to 30 season run on that show, I think is some of the best casting they've ever done. Some really great characters that gelled well, or didn't gel well in some cases, but really bounced off each other well on the island. And I think that should be the show that wins here. But Survivor has really, other than Jeff Probst, who went on a winning streak in the host category, has really struggled at the Emmys somewhat unexplainably, considering the material they've put out there a lot of these years. But I'd shout out to the Survivor casting director, Lynn Spillman, because she's done a fantastic job, particularly with that Millennials versus Gen X season they had this year. One, I always like to quote Chris Beecham in terms of looking at one thing that's not like the other. If you look at Born This Way, which is so different from any of the other real nominees in this category, because it's not really a competition show. It's not a competition. It's not about competition. This is about, you know, a group of individuals that have Down syndrome. So, you know, there is certainly a possibility that they could, without the competition aspect, that could actually help them. Yeah, I think that's got a good chance of winning too. And we have a winner for Variety Special Lighting. The winner is The Super Bowl with Lady Gaga. There we go. So your dark horse, Tony, was able to take it out and upset Hairspray Live.
That it did.
Yeah. We are joined now by Riley. Riley, do you want to give any just quick initial thoughts on the awards we've had so far?
Well, I switched out Carpool Karaoke yesterday, so I'm upset about that.
Oh, no, Riley. Yeah, great. What's our next category? So after we've got reality casting, we're ping-ponging a bit back to variety and reality. They're coming together with Nonfiction for a costumes award. Who are the nominees there?
I'm pulling them up right now. Somebody will probably get them to
They are Dancing with the Stars, Hairspray Live, Portlandia, RuPaul's Drag Race, and SNL.
Here we go. Boy, Riley, you haven't talked about any of the categories yet. Let's dive right in with you. Who you calling here?
Last year the Wiz Live won, so I'll go with Hairspray Live.
Yes, it's been upset once tonight. Maybe this is where it makes its mark at the Emmys. Tony, what do you think?
Is there a subtle nominee in this category? I don't think so. You know, God, Hairspray Live could certainly win, and you know, certainly with what Riley just said, I would not count out RuPaul's Drag Race from this one. Yeah. Which was, by the way, that was the episode with Lady Gaga. So maybe there is a theme. Maybe it's all Gaga all night.
I think it's definitely between those two. I mean, let's not underestimate them to just vote for a show called Hairspray in the hairstyling category. So it's so much, but I mean, it's not too
on the nose. It's not too on the nose.
In all seriousness, though, I mean, this is period work, and it is very elaborate and is very difficult to do. But so is RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, you know, they are more or less creating things from scratch on that show. So, I mean, I think it's between those two. I'd give the edge to Hairspray Live, but this will be a really, I mean, these categories would be interesting to see whether they're going for Hairspray Live or RuPaul's
And we have a winner in reality casting. The winner is Born This Way.
Born This Way, yeah. Like, going for, again, the one of this thing that isn't like the others. The old Sesame Street mantra plays out yet again at the Emmy Awards. I think we've I think we've had some good thoughts on the costumes there. Look, Saturday Night Live, some great costumes there. RuPaul's Drag Race. It is really interesting when you mix all these sort of, like, you got the best of variety, the best of reality, the best of nonfiction. You see where that ball's just going to land. It's going to be interesting. I do think Hairspray is probably a safe money, but by no means. I'm less confident in Hairspray here than I was the one they just lost. So that's like my slight pause.
Yeah, I'm a little wary of Hairspray in general because last year Grease Live was this huge thing, won 5 awards, but it was also nominated for like directing and casting and sound mixing, and Hairspray Live just like doesn't have those nominations. It's just nominated in the craft categories, but it doesn't seem to have support like as a program itself, which is why I switched over to the Oscars for that special class program category.
It is less popular overall in the awards, you're right.
So here we go. Next category will be, after that one, we will have reality picture editing. Who are the nominees for reality picture editing?
Those nominees are The Amazing Race. We have 2 nominees from Project Runway. One episode, An Unconventional Launch Party. The other one, part 2 of the finale. We have RuPaul's Drag Race, Shark Tank, and Survivor.
I actually think this is where An Amazing Race, or maybe even Survivor, could win. Survivor's done a little bit better in these sorts of categories over the years, but I'd say Amazing Race, maybe just the editing, different countries and traveling and stuff, is a bit more flashier editing than some of the other shows. So that'd be my sort of gut, but I'm not 100% convinced. What do you think, Riley?
I don't think the editors are so concerned with cuts necessarily. Like, I remember a couple of years ago when Olive Kitteridge beat like 24, Live Another Day, and American Crime, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with RuPaul's Drag Race just because I think it's further ahead in the program race.
I agree. I'm going with that as well. I mean, I'm just going to, it's the only reality show I watch anyway, so I think I'm just going to go straight RuPaul's ballot for that reason, and maybe the voters will do that as well. You know,
the voters are just going to vote for it. Wait. The voters are going to vote for it because it's the only one you watch, Zach.
That's right, yes. And actually, we've got a winner.
We do have a winner.
Tony, please tell us the new winner.
What's the winner?
The winner for variety reality costumes is RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, here we go. Maybe you're onto something, Zach. Maybe
Thank you.
We'd go the way of RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah.
Do we call this the Zach Law's bump?
Yes.
Zach Law's bump.
It's because I attended their finale and also met some of their queens on RuPaul. That's why they're having. So I'll be waiting for Ru and VH1 to send me my free gift basket anytime.
Can I add, we have seen, as the Emmy voting has changed over the past couple of years, more sweeps. We've seen more across the board winners than we've been used to seeing at the Emmys before. So sort of what Riley and Zach are talking about if it's ahead in the program race, maybe that's going to raise ships in a yes.
And going off of that, we have another winner for reality picture editing, and it's, again, RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul's Drag Race. Not a bad line of thought, guys. I'm liking it. Let's quickly get to the nominees for reality cinematography. The Emmys have now caught up with us. So let's who are the nominees for best reality cinematography?
Those nominees are The Amazing Race, Born This Way, Deadliest Catch, Life Below Zero, and Survivor.
Well, there's no RuPaul's Drag Race, so I don't know what to pick here. So,
Riley, help us out.
Yeah, Deadliest Catch ruled this category back under the tape system. They actually did very well, like, you know, in the editing category and kind of, I think, across the board because of it always played well that way. But I feel like it's been on for a long time at this point. I don't think that it has the passion these days. The winner last year was like Below Zero.
What do you think, Tony? Where would you go here?
I would probably go with Life Below Zero. I actually have seen that show, and you know how they actually film in those kind of conditions. I think Deadliest Catch and Life Below Zero are the strongest contenders in this category. But like Riley said, they've kind of moved on from Deadliest Catch, so I think probably Life Below Zero.
Yeah. Let's jump across to the next race because we will be struggling to keep up in a second as winners come in. And the next one,
a winner just came in. A winner just came in. Reality cinematography. We're all wrong. Went to Born This Way.
Born This Way. Again, we continue on this sweep theme. Born This Way's won a couple. RuPaul's Drag Race has won a couple. So I'd be looking out for Born This Way in future categories where it's nominated. What's our next category, guys?
Can I just say about Deadliest Catch? Deadliest Catch has won 16 Emmys, but last year was the first year that they won no Emmys since 2009.
Yeah.
Our next category is hairstyling for a multi-camera series or special. Those nominees are Dancing with the Stars, Hairspray Live, RuPaul's Drag Race, Saturday Night Live, and The Voice.
I'm just going to go with RuPaul's Drag Race here. Because, like I said, in costumes, you know, I mean, it's just sort of very elaborate, made from scratch work. You know, Hairspray in the title again, but maybe they'll just go for that. But it hasn't had much luck thus far, so I'm just going to go with RuPaul.
This is Hairspray's last stand.
Yeah, if Hairspray doesn't win this, if Hairspray doesn't win this, oh man.
By the way, when we were talking about costumes, I realized like I was thinking of hairstyling, and so that's why I thought on the nose Hairspray would win hairstyling, and then I realized we were talking about costume design. But it really kind of worked for what we were saying anyway.
So it's very hard to keep track of all the categories as they come rolling, thrown at us like darts. So we'll see how we're going. I do have so usually in the past for our creative arts coverage, I've had a chalkboard where we keep a track of the tally. I have thrown that out this year. We're getting rid of the chalkboard. I'm just going to write a tally style. I guess orange is the new black style tally on the board. So which shows have won 2? So Born This Way's won 2, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
And RuPaul's Drag Race is 1, 2.
This way. And I'll put 2 lines next to it. RuPaul.
One for the Super Bowl, one for the Oscars, one for Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and one for Carpool Karaoke. So that's
Oscars. 1. Carpool Karaoke. Does that count as the late show? The late show?
I think we can throw
I
it in
counted
there.
as such, but yeah.
I'm gonna write that. The fact checkers can get on that later.
Emmy number 3 I believe that's James Corden's 3rd.
Yeah. No, James Corden's done very well at the Creative Arts last year and now this year too. Not the White House.
Hey, sorry,
And
are you
we
guys just
have-
like refresh? Oh, okay.
We have a winner for hairstyling, and the winner is Hairspray.
It's done it. Hairspray.
There it is.
It will not go quietly into the good night.
Well, again, I mean, I think that was pretty obvious, you know, on the nose type rewarding, but
Yes.
not too. I mean, you know, very good work for those guys, you know.
Yeah. If only it had been called. If only it had been called hairspray, costumes, and editing.
So what's next? Variety series lighting design.
Lighting design. Those nominees are America's Got Talent, Dancing with the Stars, Saturday Night Live, So You Think You Can Dance, and The Voice.
I mean, I think I had to go with Saturday Night Live here, but I mean, that's just sort of by default. What do you guys think?
Riley.
Yeah, I'll jump on that bandwagon just because it's, you know, bigger this year. The award normally goes to The Voice, and with the winners, are you guys just getting them off of Twitter?
Yes, off of the
From
Gold
Chris?
Derby Twitter page.
Yeah. All right. My feed's not very good at refreshing, but that's on me.
We're here for you, Riley.
They are also getting posted in the Gold Derby forums by Chris Beecham.
This will be really interesting to see. I mean, how big this.
We have another winner. The winner for Variety Series Lighting Design is Dancing with the Stars.
Here we go.
I was just about to say, it'll be really interesting to see how strong this Saturday Night Live train is, and I guess we've got our first indication.
It's going down.
Yeah. One down, 21 more to go. So next is a production design award for
for variety, nonfiction or reality.
Yeah.
Does anybody have that up? I don't.
I do, yes. Okay, so we've got Bill Nye Saves the World, Drunk History, Portlandia, Saturday Night Live, and The Voice. You know, I would have feel more confident about saying Saturday Night Live if it had just won that that last award, but now.
What are you going to do now?
I don't know what I'm going to go with Portlandia. No, I think I'll still go with Saturday Night Live. I mean, why the hell not? We'll see if maybe that was just a fluke or if that's the way it's going to go. So.
Yeah. Tony?
Yeah, I don't feel as comfortable saying Saturday Night Live, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Fair enough. Yeah, Riley, what do you think?
Portland has won the last couple Emmys. I'm just checking the Guild, what happened there. The Guild went to SNL this year, so I will go with them since they seem to be on the upswing anyway.
Yeah.
Portlandia could. I'm sorry, man.
No, go. I was going to say Saturday Night Live is probably a safe bet, but it could go to Portlandia's one before. So just, yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, after this category, we have quite a big category with some big names in it for Outstanding Narrator.
Oh.
Yes, our first performance category of the Creative Arts. And
Yes.
by the way, we have a winner for production design. The winner is Saturday Night Live.
SNL.
It's back.
Opens its account.
It's 1 for 22.
Yeah. There we go. SNL. Who won the last award again?
It was Dancing with the Stars.
Yes. Okay, so let's read out very apt to read out the nominees for Best Narrator. Who would like to do that? Who's got the best voice?
Quite a heavy hitting category. We have Meryl Streep for Five Came Back. We have Liev Schreiber for Muhammad Ali Only One. We have Liev Schreiber for Yukon The March to Madness. Sam Neill for Wild New Zealand. Ewan McGregor for Wild Scotland. And Lawrence Fishburne for Year Million.
And I guess the big question here is, will Hollywood continue the trend of overrating Meryl Streep by giving her another award? I think they will. I think Meryl Streep's going to win this. That's my call. Anyone bold enough to say she won't?
I mean, you know, it could be like Lawrence Fishburne. I don't know. I'm going with Meryl Streep here. I mean, I think, you know, that her narration in that special was so much a part of its impact that I think I mean, it's interesting that they went with a female voice for such a male-centric and male-dominated story as like these 5 filmmakers going to World War II. And I think maybe that might help her look like a apple in a basket of oranges.
Yeah. Riley?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just very boring. I'll go with Meryl Streep as well. Also helping the apple on the bag of oranges argument is that she is a woman, as I mentioned. Everybody else in the category is man.
That's right. I didn't even notice that at first.
I would actually think her biggest threat normally might be here Liev Schreiber, who's very well respected in the industry. He's done a lot of work amongst actors and in SAG and all that sort of thing. However, he's nominated twice, so vote splitting will come into play for him as well. So I think even someone who may have been a toughest competition might be hurting himself a little bit by being nominated twice in the same category.
Sorry, do we know how they judge this category? I mean, normally I know that kind of stuff. I was trying to look it up in the rule book, and I just could not find it.
I do not.
I don't know off the top of my head. You know, funny enough, she is not competing against.
Funny enough, she's an Emmy. Funny enough, she just won the Emmy for Best Narrator.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Look at that. We're back in the swing of things, guys. I was going to say she's not competing against the Meryl Streep of this category, Keith David. So.
Yeah.
Probably helped her.
Yeah, well, Keith Davis out, Meryl Streep swoops in and wins that Emmy for a really non-underrated job of narrating.
Take that, Donald Trump.
Yes.
Can I just say the Twitter feed? It's quite impressive. You know, they've got their gifts for every winner. I don't know how they lined that up.
We're at Gold Derby. We know what we are prepared for every contingency at the Emmy Awards. We don't completely write anyone off, and we've got all the gifts ready. We're in the know.
Very good job.
I think I said a few nonsense. Yeah, anyway,
we got a.
So what's coming up next, guys?
It is a movie mini special technical direction. And the nominees there are Carpool Karaoke, Hairspray Live, the Oscars, Super Bowl halftime show, and the Tony Awards. I might just go with the Oscars here, just because I feel well, what do you want, Tony?
We have a winner. The winner is Hairspray Live.
Okay, well, forget I even said anything, folks.
Let me tell you something about the technical direction limited series movie special category. So
tell us a tale, Riley.
Yes. So the category has existed, since the 70s, since 1983. But even though limited series is in the title, they have never nominated a limited series.
Wow.
Whoa. That's interesting.
And there are no movies nominated here either, for that matter.
What gives, Emmys?
Well, go ahead, Tony.
The next category is technical direction for a series. Those nominees are The Big Bang Theory, Dancing with the Stars, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, Saturday Night Live, and The Voice.
Did John Oliver win this last year?
Last year was Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, it's hard for a show like John Oliver's to win in a category like this. I would be looking more to your Saturday Night Live type shows.
Right. Maybe I'll go with that since, again, 22 nominations, and it has 1 out of 2 so far, so maybe it'll be on the streak.
Yeah, I find it amazing when John Oliver is nominated in categories like directing, when he is just sitting at the desk for half an hour.
He has those little sketches, and
he does, yes.
Yeah,
and the cutaways, and
yeah, and I think it shows the strength of the series. That's why, like, a John Oliver is a show that you think has a good chance of winning Best Variety Series, because he's getting nominated in categories which a show like that doesn't normally get nominated in. And you often saw back in the years when The Daily Show and the Colbert Report were doing very well, they'd pop into categories like this every now and then as well. So,
we've got a little lull here. I got.
Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead, Tony.
We have for series technical direction, the winner is Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
All right. 2 out of 3, baby.
Yeah. So Saturday Night Live joins the 2 Emmy wins club at the moment. They've won 2 this year with Born This Way, RuPaul's Drag Race, and Hairspray. There are multiple Emmy winners today.
So next up is,
yeah, sorry, Tony.
I was just gonna say next up is motion design, whatever the hell that is.
Okay. What are the nominees for motion design, Zach?
Does anybody have those?
Can you find it?
Yeah, motion design actually doesn't have nominees.
Okay.
Motion design was not something that the Emmys awarded before last year, and even last year they did not award it. The motion designers worked so hard to get themselves an Emmy category, and then they decided that nobody was worthy enough, because it's one of those juried ones where it can have multiple winners, it can have, no winners. So last year we had no winners. This year we have 2 winners. Our first 2 winners for motion design at the Emmys ever. And they are 13th and what was the other one? Beyond Magic.
So let's talk.
And they count as Emmy wins. These are not honorary awards. These are not when we have honorary Oscars and things like that. Tom O'Neill and us at Gold Derby will say that that's not actually an award win because that's just decided to be given to someone. These juried awards are members of the Academy deciding on it counts on your Emmy tally. That's why Hank Azaria has so many, or the ones who won for The Simpsons when voiceover was a jury category, all count as Emmy wins.
Yeah, and they do cross over. Like, this is a brand new award, but in a few years, it could switch over, like voiceover, or another one, like earlier we were talking about variety costumes. I think up until last year, that was also one where they would just announce like a winner or 2 and then nothing else.
Yeah. What's our next category?
Next category is Outstanding Informational Series or Special.
This is a big award.
This is a very big award. The nominees are Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, Inside the Actors Studio, Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath, Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Vice.
Do you guys think if Leah Remini wins this award, she's going to say something about Elizabeth Moss in her speech?
I
don't. Would be my
the popcorn eater in me would love it.
Yeah, we gotta get the inside scoop from Chris and Marcus if she's.
I think she'll say something about Scientology if she wins.
Yeah, I think that's who I'm going with.
Yeah,
that's who I'm going with.
I forget, did the Scientology documentary, the Alex Gibney one, win the Emmy the year that it was nominated?
The HBO one, Going Clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I wanted to make sure there wasn't a bias against rewarding Scientology.
That was the same year as the Jinx and sort of stuff like the Jinx won some of the awards, and like I remember because I was at the Creative Arts that year, and you had like the Jinx goes to the Scientology, and it looks like they didn't compete in the same categories much. They were slightly different nonfiction beasts.
Right.
From memory. Am I right, Riley? You're better. You've got a better memory.
Nope. Don't ask me about this one. Yeah.
Okay, great. Let's just go on. Now, quickly, while you guys are talking, I will check on Wikipedia to make sure I haven't said the wrong thing.
I know.
For this one, I'm going with Scientology. She did just win the TCA award, and I feel like this is the show that people are talking about the most, the one that people are into like right now, whereas all these other shows have been on for years. Even if like not that many years.
Anthony Bourdain though. The Emmy voters do have a bit of a penchant for Anthony Bourdain.
They sure do. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's our category after this one?
I believe it's short form nonfiction or reality. Am I right about that?
Yes, you are right.
Yes, those nominees are right there. Okay. Creating Saturday Night Live, Feud Betty and Joan, The Inside Look, Jay Leno's Garage, the National Endowments for the Arts, United States of Arts, and Viceland at the Women's March.
Do you think maybe they'll go for like rewarding National Endowment for the Arts just as a big middle finger to Donald Trump for slashing money for it?
I think that's extremely possible, or SNL could just get through this one too.
I might go with Viceland at the Women's March. I mean, those programs are always really good. So.
And there was a lot of attention on various protest marches and the coverage of such in the lead up to voting. Not the women's marches, but I wonder if that sort of reminded voters of the work Viceland had done with the women's march.
The Charlottesville documentary that they did was airing during voting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could definitely help them.
Yeah. Which will be, I would imagine, a contender for next year in this category. Like, I'd be surprised if that didn't get nominated. Who knows what's going to happen in the world between now and then? But I would imagine that will be a contender next year as well.
Yeah, last year, Inside Look, The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story was the winner. You can't actually find, like a program of that name on the internet in general, but if you go to YouTube and you go to like the FX YouTube, and then there's like a little like, making this episode for American Crime Story, that's what it's actually referring to. So I don't think that voters have much awareness of what they're voting for in this category. So I'm going with SNL because it's the nomination leader.
Yeah, which will get it its third win for the evening. So that would be Saturday Night Live, after losing a couple early on, really course correcting and lining itself up well to win its first ever variety series win. Saturday Night Live, they've only had variety sketch series, for 2 years at the Emmys. You would have thought a couple of years ago that introducing a category like that would just be designed for Saturday Night Live. But the world of sketches become such a big thing now in television that Amy Schumer and Key and Peele have won that the last 2 years. They've opted with the smaller shows.
Well, thankfully for them, they're not around anymore. So, this is about as good a year as any for Saturday Night Live to win that prize.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're looking quite good for it. But I still wouldn't be shocked if one of the smaller shows upset them again. But I do think this is maybe their year to take it out.
Now, because this show is called Creating Saturday Night Live, it won't be credited toward SNL's overall total.
Oh, okay. I will make a note of that for
I think we should credit it. But I mean, like when they say that Westworld and SNL are tied in most nominations, it actually doesn't include this one.
Okay.
Interestingly, though, it includes the Westworld nomination for interactive media, because like in the interactive media category, there's like the Stranger Things VR experience, but Westworld's VR experience is simply titled Westworld, so the Emmys count it as part of the show.
So here's a tip for networks out there: call your internet stuff just the same name as the show. Make it part of the show, and then it'll help you with your Emmy totals and your records. And like that can mean all the difference, especially a show like Westworld. If they have an amazing 5, 6, 7 seasons of television ahead of them, they could get the most Emmys of any show ever in the history of television. And it might come down to that interactive experience award. So just name your VR, do whatever Westworld did in that VR category, guys, because it could, in the history books of television, make all the difference. Do we have a new winner? I think because they had those honorary, those juried awards. That's probably.
We do not yet.
It has taken a minute for these juried winners to finish speaking, I guess.
Well, they knew they were winning. They've had time to write their speeches. Right. They're not forgetting anyone while they're up there.
It's been 9 minutes. 9 minutes since we had a winner.
Yeah. I'm sure, unlike Meryl Streep, they're probably there at the ceremony.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and that is it. Some of these categories, the winner might not be there, which means we get to the next category quicker. Although you and me, Zach, have been to a Creative Arts Awards, and we got a winner. Sorry,
we have a winner. Leah Remini's Scientology: The Aftermath has won Informational Series.
Yeah.
Woo! Put it on the board there. Scientology.
One for Scientology.
Yeah.
All right, Remini, Scientology. Wouldn't be surprised if she wins a couple more, or that series wins a couple more awards. Just to come back to something we talked about earlier, now that Leah Remini's won, great job, is that Going Clear, the Scientology documentary, won 3 Emmys. They won for Best Series, Best Nonfiction Programming for Directing, Writing, and Outstanding Documentary or Nonfiction Special, that same category. So, I was about to say Scientology's done well here. Scientologists would probably argue Scientology has not done well in this category because they were both fairly critical pieces that have won in this array. So very bad news for Scientologists.
Bad press, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't believe Scientologists live by the mantra of any press is good press.
We're also glib and suppressive.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's done quite well, and that's why the Jinx won the series awards. Like they won Best Nonfiction Series. The Going Clear was a Nonfiction Special. Yes. But I was saying, we've been to we went to the Creative Arts a couple of years ago, Zach, and they do not give you long to make those speeches. You have like 20 seconds. It's not like what we watch on TV.
No,
we see the prime times.
Not at all, because I mean, there's 50 categories tonight alone that they're going to be rewarding. So I mean, they want people to get to the governor's awards as quickly as possible. So you're right. I mean, it is just like bam, 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 one after another.
You have to sprint up. Don't spend time hugging your cat or whatever you brought to the Emmys. Just get up on the stage.
Now I want somebody to bring a cat to the Emmys.
Yeah. Sure, Marcus is going to bring that Mrs. Featherbottom or whatever.
That's Mrs. Featherbottom.
Zach, did you go last year to the Creative Arts?
I did not. No, I did not go last year.
Okay. I was wondering because last year was the first year they broke it into 2 evenings. We'll be back tomorrow night, guys, to continue this. First time they broken it into 2. I'm just wondering if they give them a bit more time to make their speeches now that it's 2 shows.
Probably part of the reason why they broke it into 2 was to make the evening even shorter than it already was. So perhaps that's, I think they might be sticking to the old 20-second rule because, again, I mean, it's like almost 50 categories a night. I mean, that's a lot for people to have to sit through.
Yeah. I enjoyed every minute when I was there.
Yes, we did.
Yes, I was fine with the length of it. I said, let them have their moments.
Yeah.
Let them. Don't rush them off. They've worked very hard for like a year or more on this program, on their work.
After after the nonfiction reality short form, it's a choreography award.
We got another winner, I believe. It was Leah Remini the last winner we had announced?
Yes. Oh, yes. Viceland just won.
Viceland, the march.
Woo.
I was right. That Charlottesville attention perhaps was helpful.
Do we want to read through the nominees for choreography real quick?
Yeah, I'd love to.
So it's Dancing with the Stars, So You Think You Can Dance, The Real O'Neills, and So You Think You Can Dance. I should say that last year's winner, no, strike that. Mandy
we
Moore.
Had nothing to strike, you didn't say it.
Mandy Moore, who was the choreographer of La La Land, I was getting confused there. She is nominated for both Dancing with the Stars and So You Think You Can Dance. That's
oh my gosh. If any category was asking for envelope confusion, we've got all the makings. We've got two Dancing with the Stars nominees, 2 So You Think You Can Dance nominees, 1 person who's in one of those nominees for each of those shows, who worked on La La Land. This is the perfect storm for a wrong announcement.
I'll say last year's winner is not in this category. That's what I was probably Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
So she's not in there. The La La Land person's not in there. They're keeping her well clear. Okay.
There actually can be multiple winners in this category, though. So even if they announce the wrong name, they might still be right. Because
yes, there can be multiple winners in any category, can't there, Riley?
Well, like this one especially though, because it's you know, the jury system.
Yeah, because if
like they're scoring these ones instead of just taking off one. Is what I'm getting at.
In the regularly voted systems, for there to be a draw, there needs to be the exact same number of votes.
Yeah,
for both contestants. So if there's the exact same number of votes for Stranger Things and Westworld, they both win Best Drama Series.
Yes.
Is that correct, Riley?
Yeah, I mean, like in these kinds of categories, then usually they have to get above a certain threshold, and then if nobody gets it, then it's just whoever gets the highest percentage.
Okay, yeah.
And then after the choreography, I believe we have music and lyrics. If I'm right, yes, I am. And boy, is that an interesting looking category. Just the names of the songs alone.
Yeah, these two categories are great because you can actually go on YouTube, you know, and find each nominee and see exactly what is supposed to be judged and kind of decide for yourself.
Yeah.
Not that I did that with choreography, because nobody's got time for that.
Yeah.
Do you want to read through the nominees for music and lyrics, since we'll probably be?
Oh, I'd love to.
Do it, Tony.
The nominees for original music and lyrics are Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for the song "We Tap That Ass," Duck the Halls and Mickey Mouse Christmas Special for the song "Jing-a-Ling-Ling," Jimmy Kimmel Live for the song "The Ballad of Klaus Jorstad," Saturday Night Live for the song titled "Last Christmas," 13th for the song "Letter to the Free," and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt for the song "Hell No."
I should say we got a winner and choreographer, and it is a tie, actually.
Yep, brother's right.
Yeah. So Mandy Moore for Dancing with the Stars, and Travis Wall for So You Think You Can Dance.
Boy, goes a bit against vote splitting theory that the only things that won were shows with other nominees. But as Riley said, different voting. Voting's done a bit differently for this category. So
what's interesting is that Mandy Moore was also nominated for So You Think You Can Dance as well.
Yeah.
So, but for music and lyrics, which is coming up, I'm just going to go with Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, just because I wanted to win something after 3 years on the air.
Fun fact about the music and lyrics category: 3 of the 5 nominees were considered for the Trump campaign theme song when he came out to rallies. I won't say which 3. You can guess.
I can guess a couple, yeah.
I can guess which one.
Yeah.
But there's actually, you know, this is an interesting category because there's quite some heavy hitters in this category. Among the nominees, you have Rachel Bloom, you have Kenan Thompson, cast member from Saturday Night Live, you have Common, and then you have Tina Fey, who could win yet another Emmy if she wins, if Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt wins.
Part of me would think the song for the 13th could be in good stead to win here. Not as much precedent of songs like that in this category.
I think if it had gotten an Oscar nomination, I might be more inclined to predict it. But I do think that that could be a winner here as well, because 13th did do fairly well in the Emmy nominations. And it is a very powerful song as well. So yeah. I wouldn't count that out at all.
And am I right that last year didn't Diane Warren win for that song from the Hunting Ground in this category?
Yes. We're right about that, yes. So there is a lot of precedent for that.
But Lady Gaga did not win because the Emmys decided that she did not contribute enough of the lyrics. Which is ironic because normally the Emmys, you know, they allow like kind of everybody who has a producer credit, you know, so you could get like 20 people winning a program award, whereas at the Oscars, they kind of narrow it down to the top 3. But I guess when it comes to the music branch, it's the reverse, where the Emmys are much more stringent about who gets a nomination and a win, that kind of thing. So in this category, we have kind of 4 humorous nominees. So I'm going with Letter to the Free is the apple in the bag of oranges. And then also there's Jingling Ling, and I just don't know what to do with that. I listened to the song, and it sounds kind of as you would expect.
Well, it is. I mean, in the tradition of songs from Disney products, so maybe they could just vote for that out of default. Funny enough, the guy who wrote that song is also the composer on Veep. So, I mean, it could be a win for his career if you think about it.
It would seem weird for the category that has honoured great work such as, Fucking Matt Damon and Dick in a Box to go to Mickey Mouse's Jingling Ling.
Well, we have a winner, and Riley, you were right. It is Common for Letter to the Free. Apple in the Bag of Oranges, and Common is just a Tony away from becoming an EGOT.
Whew. And that one actually was in the prediction center. So yes,
there we go. I predicted it now because I would have if I had thought about the category.
Congratulations to Common.
Tony White, get to Broadway, Common, to get that EGOT. Yes. What next category do we have coming up?
Sound editing.
Sound editing.
For sound editing. Yes.
Sound editing. Do you want to run us through those nominees, someone? And I will also at this point. We might have a bit of we might start to do our rotation of people in the slugfest to get a few more voices in here. So I am gonna ask Amanda Spears and Charles Bright to come into the room. You guys stay in here until they're in. I'll tell you when to get out of here. But let's talk about. Sorry, just a bit of housekeeping.
You just want to eject me at any time. Like I'll figure out what happened.
Okay. Yeah. So
the nominees for sound editing for a nonfiction program. That is the category, right?
Yes.
I think so. Let me check.
Yes. Okay. So it's Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. The Beatles, 8 Days a Week, The Touring Years. Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath. Planet Earth 2, and 13th.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Zach?
Sorry, I wasn't paying. I was writing up about. Can you run through those nominees again?
Sure. It's Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. The Beatles, 8 Days a Week. Leah Remini, Scientology in the Aftermath. Planet Earth 2, and 13th.
I think I'll go with Planet Earth 2 in that one. There's a lot of complicated sound work in that series.
Yeah, I sort of can see three sort of things jump out at me. One is, as you say, Planet Earth because of the sound work. One is the Beatles. That's got a whole different
true, yeah.
side.
You are surprisingly prescient, Mr. Noble, because the winner is the Beatles, 8 Days a Week.
There we go. 8 days a week. I love it. Okay. Gonna ask Zach and Tony, if you want to drop out now, that'd be great. Since Riley, you're a bit late, we'll keep you in for about 10, 15 more minutes because we are now joined by Amanda Spears and Charles Bright.
All right. Goodbye, gentlemen. Have fun.
And
I'm sorry, Amanda as well.
Why are you still here?
Get out of here, Zach. Okay, Amanda. After that science disrespect for Zach, we'll let you have the first word. How are you feeling? And what are your thoughts so far of the evening's events?
Does it count as being part of the Gold Derby bump if you write an Emmy spotlight on a person? Because I wrote an Emmy spotlight on Mandy Moore, so I'm very, very excited.
There you go, Amanda. Yeah, that counts as the Gold Derby bump, for sure.
Yes, then that's my first one, so I'm very excited after last year when I had to sit and watch them all lose. So I'm very excited, but I wanted Tina Fey to win songwriting, but I could see the common thing happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are right on the cusp of winning an EGOT now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was rooting for the song about that guy who got his balls stuck in the stool.
Is that the Rachel? Is that the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend one or the?
No, it's the Jimmy Kimmel Live one. It's about a real news story, and then they film like a fake music video for it. So it's
Oh my God.
this guy. He sits down in a stool that he got from IKEA, and he sits down in the shower, and he can't get out of it.
Yeah, but we've had so many fun winners in that category. It would have been nice to see a fun winner, but they went serious.
Charles, your quick thoughts before we move on to the next categories?
Happy for Samantha Bee. Really surprised. Born This Way doing really well. RuPaul's Drag Race, no surprise, is doing really well. Not really that much. I just want to say that, Riley, when you said, let me tell you something about the technical direction category, usually that phrase is followed by something completely obscene or, God forbid, racist. So I'm glad you put a new spin on that by actually having, something relevant to say when someone actually says that term. So kudos to you, Riley.
Good job, Riley. Changing the world one gold derby slugfest at a time.
I will tell you lots of other things later.
Oh, boy.
Fantastic. So, Charles.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, I guess we'll go, Charles. What category up to? I think we're up to...
We are up to production design for a variety, nonfiction event, or awards special.
Yes. Do you have those nominees in front of you?
I do. It is...
Oh, great. I'll read them out for us.
Yes. Full Frontal with Samantha Bee presents Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, 74th Annual Golden Globes, Hairspray Live, the Oscars, and Super Bowl 51 halftime show starring Lady Gaga.
Boy. Amanda, do you have a call here?
No, I don't. What were the? Can you read?
Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Golden Globes, Hairspray Live, the Oscars, and Super Bowl 51 halftime show.
Yeah, I think it's either the Oscars or Hairspray Live.
Well, I've got a call, Amanda. Sorry for cutting you off. I've got a call. We have the winner in. We've got the winner.
We can reject.
Yeah. It is Hairspray Live as one best writing.
Oh, I just saw that when I refreshed Twitter. I'm like, there it is. Never mind. Sorry about that.
So Hairspray Live has got up to its third win.
What happened to the usual chalkboard?
I'm trying something new. If it's
Aren't you a school teacher? You have horrible.
Matt's gone primitive.
Look, okay, I'm writing backwards with one hand while trying to run a web show.
Isn't that what teachers do? Aren't you used to that?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, look, well, tomorrow night we might move back to the chalkboard. Or I'll be working on. I'll get some handwriting books out tonight, and we'll and it'll be much better tomorrow. Okay.
My favorite was in the our Westworld chats where you created the maze. Do you still have that?
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was good. Where's that cowboy hat? Are you going to wear that tomorrow when we have to deal with Outlanders?
But we're not up to any. Westworld hasn't even been nominated yet for anything. So, So I think most of Westworld's are coming tomorrow night. So we'll be talking a lot of Westworld tomorrow. What's our next category, guys? Enough about my handwriting and cowboy hats. People didn't tune into our show.
It's makeup for multi-camera or special, non-prosthetic. And our nominees
and I have the winner, Charles. Would you like to read the nominees first?
Sure, I got them. Dancing with the Stars, we have Hairspray Live, Mad TV, RuPaul's Drag Race, Saturday Night Live, and The Voice. And we can project that the winner is Saturday Night Live.
Yes, Saturday Night Live
is
one.
Up to 3?
They are up to 3.
And you know the maximum Emmys, the most Emmys they've ever won in a year, I think, was 5. So they're almost at 6. Which would break their record.
Yeah, by almost at 6, halfway.
Yeah, halfway.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of 3 nights, so I'm not saying they're not on track to beat it. But yeah, so that is a good night for SNL. They've won more Emmys than anyone. Are they on the Riley? Have they won more Emmys than any other show?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been on for 50 years. You can win a lot of Emmys.
Yeah, definitely.
Or 40 years, however long we've been going. So, what's our next category, guys? Let's get to it.
It's variety picture editing.
Okay.
And the nominees are Conan, Drunk History, Last Week Tonight Twice, and Saturday Night Live. And these ones are all nominated for, usually they're nominated for segments from an episode.
Yes. So that'll be interesting. John Oliver could be the victim of vote splitting here. Yeah, do you have a thought, Amanda?
I think it's probably SNL again, personally. They just seem to be at the height of their popularity.
It's interesting. SNL is up for a segment called Kellyanne Conway, but it doesn't say. That's all it says. It doesn't specifically say which Kellyanne Conway it is.
It's the music video. It's the Chicago Roxy Hart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'd be the one.
Yeah, that's the only one from SNL that's called Kellyanne Conway.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Roxy. If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube and watch it. It's
very good.
Kate McKinnon does a great Renee Zellweger mixed with Kellyanne Conway. So
for Last Week Tonight, there might actually not be votes.
Oh, we have a winner.
Amanda, who's the winner?
Last Week Tonight, F6 2016.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just about to say that there might actually not be vote splitting because one of their segments nominated is called Stoplight, and the other one is called Fuck 2016. So there's obviously one that is, you know.
Am I allowed to curse? I don't know.
At this point, why not?
Well, I'm reading it off Twitter, and they didn't say, you know, the full. Okay, never mind.
I'll be. I will have. I will check with the Gold Derby team. The powers that be tonight and see what the words we're allowed to say. We're not constrained by FCC regulations on YouTube, I believe.
Oh.
I gotta say that's a great win. I love that segment so much that they used to close out the 2016 season. It was so fantastic and so cathartic after the mess that year was. So, congratulations on those editors. It was a well-deserved win.
They were wrong.
It really makes me wonder about the categories where we have SNL and Last Week Tonight competing head-to-head, like directing and writing for variety series. Because, like I said before when we were talking about the reality editing, that I was going with Rupaul's because I thought it was further ahead in the series race. And if John Oliver is strong enough to overcome vote splitting and still defeat SNL, then maybe I shouldn't have switched away from him in variety series writing. Because maybe SNL is not super dominant. It's just that it's eligible in a lot more categories.
I think the thing with the writing category, Riley, is that he overcame vote splitting and editing, but we're talking about 1 sketch series and 4 talk series. So there is going to be maybe a little bit of a difference where it's like, you know, maybe writing all those sketches seems a little bit harder since it's the only one nominated. And it's been like 12, 15 years since SNL. It's been 15 years since SNL has won a writing category.
I don't think that SNL is the kind of show that, rightly or wrongly, I'm not making a judgment here, that is viewed as a writer's showcase. I feel like the Samantha Bee, the John Olivers, the Jon Stewarts, the Stephen Colberts, they're seen as the writing, like clever writing, and SNL seen more as a directorial accomplishment. Sort of, it's live, the director's having to deal with stuff as it happens, they've got to move from different sets to different costumes to different, you know, all that sort of thing. So I feel like it's always an uphill battle for SNL, rightly or wrongly, to win those.
They've only won writing 4 times in their series history, so to win it would be going against trend. But ironically, the last time they won was with Tina Fey, when she was head writer.
A very good head writer, it was very
the first female head writer of SNL.
Yeah, and it probably was when their writing was very strong. I'm not saying this year on SNL's a weaker season or anything like that, but like the writing was very sharp.
Yeah, and 2002 wasn't an election year, so they might be able to ride all their popularity. And they submitted a really good episode. There's a Tom Hanks one, so that was a good one.
Yeah. What's our next category, team?
Governor's War.
Right now we're at the governor.
Oh, great!
We have a bit of a lull.
Okay, could I say, like, back to you, Amanda, like, my paper here is not on a hard surface. It's like I'm like writing on a very just in defense of my handwriting. It's not an optimal writing.
What is the dress in the background? Is that the Beauty and the Beast dress, or what is that?
That's a Queen Elizabeth dress. Not actually costume from The Crown, but an actual picture of Queen Elizabeth's dress from some event. I'm not a big monarchist, so I don't really know what event that dress was worn at. Yeah.
The Commonwealth frowns on you, Matt, for not knowing.
Yeah. So we've got I've got as many stuff in the background representing as many of the sort of series nominees as possible. So
maybe we should run a poll to see if John Oliver does win and SNL wins, who would have won if they had to merge the categories.
Yes, yeah. What's that on your left there, Matt? Are those just blinds? Or?
Yeah, those are just my blinds. They do not represent a series nominated.
I see, Charles, you didn't get your pin from our Veep talk about Julia.
Yeah.
Your lapel pin.
Oh, was it?
Your Emmy lapel pin that you wanted.
Was it the Veep talk we had, or was that the Donald Trump talk we had?
I think it was the Donald Trump. Yeah, now I take it back.
Yeah.
It's the Donald Trump.
Yeah, when I called Tony a nasty woman.
Yeah.
And right now, when he hears that, he's cheering.
Yeah. A fun fact about these blinds. Mindy Kaling thought they looked like the decor that you'd have in Guantanamo Bay.
I think it might be time to buy new blinds, if you think so.
Yeah, I think it could be.
Oh my goodness.
So we've got what's our next category?
Animated program.
Oh, this is your
Charles,
favorite.
kick us off. Read us the nominees. Give us your thoughts. I know this is one of your favorites.
Well, it's tough to love it this year, but I'll get to that later. The actual nominees are Archer for the episode Archer Dreamland, No Good Deed. That was their season premiere. Bob's Burgers for Bob Actually. Elena and the Secret of Avalor, also part of Sophia the First from Disney Channel. The Simpsons for the episode The Town. And South Park for their season 20 premiere, Member Berries. Now, as you'll notice, there is no BoJack Horseman, a crime of which I am currently petitioning The Hague to recognize as such. They haven't gotten back to me yet, but I'm still waiting. But with the ones that we have here, it's kind of interesting. Archer is going to try to do something that hasn't been done in 16 years, which is to have one show win back-to-back. Last time that was The Simpsons, when they won for an episode from season 11 called Behind the Laughter. It was a satire on Behind the Music, and they did it about The Simpsons. And for an episode called Homer, HOMR, where Homer, I believe that's the one where Homer gets a crayon removed from his nostril that he's had stuck up there for 30-something years, and all of a sudden becomes intelligent, like the movie Charlie. So Archer's going to try to do that, and most of our people are predicting Archer will repeat. I was predicting Archer, but I switched to Bob's Burgers after watching all of the episodes. That episode that they submitted is probably the most solid because I got to say Archer Dreamland was well received by critics, but in talking and reading the stuff that has been written by fans of the show, it was not as well received as the critics found it. So I think the animation is absolutely beautiful, but it's I think it might encounter some rough territory there.
What do you think, Riley?
Well, what about Charlie? I know that not everybody is voting on this one, but does the animation branch, do they still have their procedures in place for more equitable voting like the music branch, or is it just kind of everybody gets to vote, check off your favorite kind of thing?
I actually do not know how they operate with that. I've tried to find out certain things about the animation branch. They're not that piece of information might be easy to find, but a lot of other pieces of information with regard to the animation branch are not as easy to find. Which I've been trying to find out, more about, how they operate and what their mindset is, because they always sometimes they get on board a show really quickly. The Simpsons, they gave the award for its first season. South Park took I think like 8 or 9 years before they won their first, but they were nominated for their first season. Archer didn't get in until their 4th or 5th season. At one point, they actually were so frustrated that they actually skipped the animation category altogether and submitted for comedy series to try and win there. So I'm not sure. Well, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it does give hope
like
for shows like yeah. I was going to say it does give hope to shows like BoJack Horseman and Rick and Morty that haven't been nominated yet, that like Archer was eventually able to get in, and then not only just get in, but win the award. So, yeah. So, there we go. What do you have any thoughts, Amanda, on this race?
I don't watch cartoons, but I want Charles to be happy, so go Archer, is it? Or, yeah.
I'm rooting for Bob's Burgers, actually.
Oh, Bob's Burgers. Okay. I don't, like I said,
Although I have to say, the weirdest thing, I had the weirdest feeling when I was because I watched all of these. I wrote an article about it. Watching Elena and the Secret of Avalor just made me feel very uncomfortable while watching it.
I read that on Facebook.
What made you uncomfortable about it?
I'm a 31-year-old man watching Elena and the Secret of Avalor alone in my apartment. I feel like at that point there was a red dot above it on Google Maps at one point.
Yeah. I don't know what Elena and the Secret of Avalor is. So
it's a princess show.
Oh, and you're going to be very happy, Charles. Bob's Burgers won by
It won? Oh, right. I called it.
I predicted Archer, and I think probably, Charles, you're on the money with Bob's Burgers had a good tape, and Bob's Burgers also, it's won before in this race, and it's not, like, it's maybe a show that they like more than Archer as well.
Okay, I have to go, guys.
Okay, see you, Riley. Thanks for joining, buddy.
Hey, Riley.
Okay.
They also both share a leading man in H. John Benjamin, who, even though Archer didn't get nominated in the program category, Benjamin, the first season of Archer, he was nominated for the voice acting category.
It's good. And what is our next category now? What's coming up next, guys?
Best animated short form.
Best animated short form. Charles, do you have the nomination? Amanda doesn't watch cartoons, but you do.
I have the nominees up, but it'll make them feel like a
if you do, because I got to update the article I'm writing.
Okay, we have Adventure Time for the episode Island Part 4, Disney Mickey Mouse Split Decision, Marvel's Rocket and Groot Spacewalk, Steven Universe for the episode Mr. Greg, and Teen Titans Go for Origins.
Okay. Yep.
Oranigans? I don't really know how to pronounce that. Sorry.
Charles. Resident cartoon expert. Oh, you missed one.
I don't know much about these programs. All I will say is I know a lot of people are rooting for Steven Universe.
Okay. Yeah, I think that or Adventure Time are probably your front runners here. Would be my prediction.
Maybe Disney.
Maybe Disney. After that jingling loss in the music and songs category, though, Disney's not batting well today.
Yeah, it's a weird category because they all are kind of young skewing.
Yeah.
So, and the winner was Adventure Time.
Yeah. Thought that had a good shot. So, what good job. And Adventure Time is probably one of the less younger skewing ones in that race. That's I have quite a few adult friends that like Adventure Time. I'm not a regular watcher of it, so I don't know what that says about them. But anyway, so what's our next category?
They're doing animation individuals, and there's 5 winners, so I think they're just honoring those individuals right now. But up next after that is variety short form.
I like it. So this is going to give us a little bit of time to kill, which is good, to collect ourselves from the steady stream of nominees that are coming out. So, let's talk about the next couple of categories that we've got in the pipeline. Amanda, do you want to run us through those nominees?
I'm trying to find them. I'm a little behind.
What's the category? I'll get them up.
Variety short form.
Variety short form and I misspelled short.
Yeah, I can't find nonfiction directing either. All of a sudden, it's weird.
Okay.
Oh, short form. I found it. Variety short form. Would that be the category we would enter ourselves in?
Probably.
Okay, so for now,
next year, guys.
Yeah, for now the nominees are Behind the Voice.
Over the course of the year.
Yeah, Behind the Voice for NBC, Epic Rap Battles of History, Honest Trailers, The Daily Show Between the Scenes, and the Star Wars Show. So since most of these are already on YouTube, we would fit into this category pretty well.
Yeah, I think the Daily Show's got a good chance of winning here. That's done very well in this category traditionally. What do you think, Charles?
I would probably say the Daily Show, because you think with some of this stuff, it'll just go to a version of the show that the voters like. I personally, though, would love to see Honest Trailers win. I love the guy. These are from the guys from Screen Junkies, Andy Signora, Dan Merle, Spencer Gilbert. Even Michael Bolton's listed as a producer. I don't know if it's the same Michael Bolton, because if we've learned anything from Office Space, it's if someone happens to have that name, it can make their life hell. But
I saw Mandy Moore from This Is Us on some shows, and she's like, every year I get an email congratulating me on my Emmy nomination, and I have to send it back saying, no, that's not me. So it was kind of.
I made that mistake once live on this very broadcast a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so it's probably a very awkward situation this year for the two of them, because she's probably just being congratulated on her Emmy win.
But I would love to see Honest Trailers win. They're a personal favorite of mine. I think they're hilarious, so I would love to see them win.
Yeah. What do you think, Amanda, or Charles too, sorry, about Epic Rap Battles maybe taking this out? Does it say, Amanda, on the list which rap battle that is?
Let's see. It does not.
Okay. I
apologize.
No, they I think they had a good one this year on Clinton and Trump or something like that, or that would particularly like.
Yeah, Hamilton's still really popular, so we could definitely see something that kind of winks at that kind of narrative win again.
I think it's very it sort of seems like the Daily Show sort of the establishment nominee here. It's like representing one of the big shows that gets nominations elsewhere, and the other ones are sort of little things that are in their own sort of orbits. So, show's likely to win here, but it'd be nice to see one of the Daily Show's very strong too. I'm not trying to throw shade the Daily Show's way, but yeah, I think it'll be a good winner here. What's our next category? What's the one after this?
Nonfiction directing.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to see OJ, Made in America, increase its awards haul, which we all disagree with.
Or will we? What is it nominated against?
Oh, let's see. I'm so sorry. I had the cinematographer list up.
Okay. That's okay.
Do you have it, Charles? I'm so sorry. I had
which award is this again?
Nonfiction directing.
Directing? Oh, yeah. Okay, yes. It's Bright Lights, starring Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds, OJ Made in America, Planet Earth 2 for the episode Cities, Planet Earth 2 for the episode Islands, and 13th.
Okay, I could have just read that list off of it.
I'd say OJ has a really good chance of winning this, but I'd say 13th is in the hunt perhaps as well.
I'm just glad that the Oscars haven't they, or is it the Emmys that adjusted their rules so this can't happen? It was the Oscars as far as the serial nominee. Yeah, so OJ's the only one that's going to be like an 8-hour.
Yeah. And you've got Planet Earth is going to hurt itself by the vote splitting.
ESPN, enjoy your Oscar and your many Emmys.
Yeah.
But I just love how HBO and Netflix are like, we could have entered Making a Murderer and The Jinx for Best Documentary at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Like the thought didn't occur to them just to show it in enough theaters to qualify.
Yeah. And like probably could have won. Like they were both such good shows, The Jinx and Making a Murderer.
I know, but it's like ESPN and ABC were the ones.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm horrible. I'll stop.
So
Charles, are you excited about going to the Emmys next week for the first time?
Oh, I am just tickled pink to be doing this. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, and I'll be over there too, Charles.
We'll be staying at the apartment together.
We're at the same apartment.
You can already hear the Odd Couple music playing in the background.
Can you please just record that on a live stream for 24 hours?
I'll just like be carrying the theme on my phone, so it just follows me wherever I go.
Yeah.
We could win best non-scripted reality show or something. Non-competitive.
Oh, be a wild week in LA. Emmys week, me and Charles in an apartment together. It's.
Now you're going to keep Charles from bringing his computer screen to Margot Martindale, right?
Yes. We'll keep all the celebrities safe from the wrath of Charles.
You didn't deserve to win.
I would not say that to her. I would say you owe me $156.07.
Yeah, and then she'd ask why, and then there'd be a good story.
She would end me.
Yeah.
Don't stalk Jonathan Banks either. And congratulations to The Daily Show for variety short form.
Daily Show with the win. I like it. What?
For now.
So what's our next category? Category
Directing.
After the next category.
We're still waiting for nonfiction directing, but I can read off the nominees for nonfiction cinematography.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, so we have 13th, Oscar-nominated 13th, Anthony Bourdain, parts unknown for the episode Rome, Chef's Tables for Virgilio Martinez, OJ, Made in America for Part 4, and Planet Earth 2 for Cities, and then Planet Earth 2 for Islands. So I'm going to go with OJ. I don't really know how you can have a cinematography and very stable kind of camera for a documentary, but it's so popular.
Yeah, like this is the kind of thing you think is tailor-made for Planet Earth to win. The 2 nominations could be its undoing if it loses. I think the 13th again is a bit of a dark horse here, like it was in the previous category. Charles, do you have a read of the tea leaves on this race?
And this is for cinematography, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown. I know they really like that show, but
and congratulations. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Edelman for nonfiction directing for OJ Made in America. So now he has an Oscar and an Emmy.
There we go. OJ Made in America's won. Now that would, to me, say that it's got a better, like cinematography now. I think it's a slightly, if 13th had won that, I thought it might take cinematography too. Maybe that shows there's some support for OJ, but you were talking, Charles, about the cinematography race.
Well, I was just going to say about the cinematography one. I mean, like OJ and 13th, it's mainly when it's not interviewing people, it's just it's old footage of other things, that have already happened. So, I don't know how much that's going to factor in. That's why I think something like Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, has a good shot at winning that. I also just want to say, since Ezra Edelman just won the directing prize, I think it's very easy to get lost in the fact that OJ was basically like a mini series on TV, but it also qualified at the Oscars. It it shouldn't be lost that it is a phenomenal documentary that looks at this amazing point in history.
Oh my gosh.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. Amanda has a look
Planet
of shock.
Earth, Islands, nonfiction cinematography, overcoming vote splitting.
Yeah, it's really the only shockers that overcame vote splitting. This is a show that has won cinematography in the past. It is the showiest cinematography of any of the nominees.
It's more of the deserving winner out of all of them.
It deserved to win. I don't know about that, Charles. Who would you have voted for here, Charles?
Oh no, I said no doubt about that.
Oh, no doubt about that. I thought you said under your breath, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
With what is required to put that stuff together, I would never be that much of a dick about that.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely the one that's not shooting people sitting down talking. So it's
a really deserving winner, Planet Earth, and really, I think if we weren't so obsessed with this, vote splitting, it's going to ruin everything, we would have all probably predicted it.
Well, I think it's just one of those things where we saw so much of it last year, and it's the new Gold Derby drinking game that we're all really hesitant and shy about that. And I can read off the nominees for nonfiction editing if you'd like. That's the next one. It's 13th, OJ Made in America, Part 4. Planet Earth, 2 cities, and then Islands, both nominated. The Beatles, 8 Days a Week, The Touring Years from Hulu, and Vice for the episode Assad, Syria / Cost of Climate Change.
Boy, there's a lot here, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, and it went to OJ Made in America.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's fine, Amanda. That's what people are tuning in for the winners to be broken.
I know you didn't get to talk about it, but OJ's not 2, right?
OJ's now at 2. Yeah, it's a multiple winner.
And he's going to be on parole, so there, we might have some something new.
Maybe he'll present.
Didn't you say in one of these he should have been Times Man of the Year?
Yeah. I don't know if I said that, but that does sound like something I would say.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me you thought that he should have been Times Man of the Year for 2016. But
what's our next category?
In memoriams. So we have a few moments.
So we got in memoriams. We got some
Who's
time.
Who's going to win that one?
Probably Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, wouldn't that be horrific if they had an award for the memoriam segment where they gave out the?
Yeah, they're going to give out the best memoriam segment of the year.
Yeah.
No, actually, it's Outstanding Interactive Program 2017, and we have Full Frontal with Samantha Bee online. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. SNL for the multi-platform experience. The Late Show with James Corden. And The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. A real chance for Jimmy Fallon to get an Emmy win on the board this year. He's snubbed from the Variety Series race.
Well, he's not just snubbed for that. Every time he's hosted SNL in the past, he's been nominated. So the rule is don't touch Donald Trump, because the minute he lost a lot of goodwill by softballing that interview with him, and then running his hands through his hair.
Yeah, you mean don't physically touch Donald Trump? Because someone argued that Colbert has, on a nightly basis, is touching Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean physically don't touch him, because literally that has probably cost him a lot of these Emmy races that he's usually in. He usually shows up for SNL. So it's a little sad for him.
Yeah. What, Charles, do you have a thought on the interactive program race?
Not at the moment, because I'm not sure how some of these do their interactive program. Like the SNL one, I understand, multi-platform experience. I just don't know, and I love some of these shows, like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I just don't know what specific aspect they're being nominated for. And I guess that's because I don't follow them online. I'm not trying to degrade the nominated people from this. I just don't know.
I'm just so thrilled for Samantha Bee that I wouldn't mind them winning this one also, because I was so happy that she won that writing award. That is a big win, not only for her but for TBS. That is a huge win. So we're seeing them being a little less snobby than they've proven to be in the past.
Yeah. What are the nominees for? What's the nominees for interactive unscripted?
I have that up too.
Category. Okay. Should be the category after this one.
Apparently, we could submit ourselves for this because eLive's 360 red carpet show is up here. Stand for Rights, a benefit for the ACLU on Facebook Live. Stand Up to Cancer, #Reasons to Stand Up. The Oscars All Access, and The Voice on Snapchat show.
Yeah, I'd say if E's red carpet coverage is getting nominated, we definitely should be in the mix here. So hopefully they don't win, and because otherwise we'd be like, oh, why didn't we submit ourselves?
If we listed ourselves, all of us as producers, would that make us all Emmy voters?
I think you gotta apply separately to be an Emmy voter. So like, it's not like I don't know. There could be an easy thing to do. I don't know. But, it's not just if you're an executive producer, you are automatically an Emmy voter.
Yeah, no, I get that. Oh, Charles has had enough.
Charles is walking out. Whoa. Okay.
So it's just you and I. So.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, that didn't last very long, did it?
He doesn't have his earphones in yet, so he can't say anything to him. Charles, what happened?
Oh no, I was just turning down the light. I'm in, as you can see, I'm not at my usual place. I'm at my parents' house. I'm cat sitting while they're in Massachusetts. So I am doing this from a workroom while I make sure that the cats don't eat each other.
Okay.
So if we wanted to break into your apartment, tonight's the night to do it.
Yeah, if you want to break into my apartment and steal my rotting bedspread, go right ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So, we've looked at what are the nominees? We've got all these interactive sort of awards coming up in a minute. What's interactive innovation? What are the nominations for those ones?
I don't know. I was looking at the at my thing here, and I don't have anything that's for innovation.
I have there's only one nomination, so it's Pearl.
Okay. So one nomination.
There's one nominee, and guess who's won?
Yeah,
Pearl.
Who will win? Pearl.
Yeah. No, they've already got the Emmy by it.
Oh, they've given them the Emmy. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's a Google Spotlight Stories and Evil Eye picture. That's all the info I have on it.
Okay.
We have a new winner. For interactive program. It's last week tonight with John Oliver.
Yeah, not a surprise there at all. We talked about this earlier. Does that count as a win for last week tonight?
I think it does. I think
it's just listed as last week tonight, so I think so.
Yeah, that definitely would count. So we just don't want to see E win the next category. No offense to the E Network, but
no.
If their Oscar show wins, then what about?
Yeah.
Our 3-hour post show after what happened.
Yeah, I thought, we did very. Yeah, it should really be the post show for Gold. That's the one I'm sure we would have submitted.
Oh yeah, the what the heck happened?
Yeah. It's got a. Tom and Neil was going to be releasing a book on it called "What Happened," but Clinton beat him to the punch. So.
I think there's another book that has that same title, but I already have a feeling that Tom's is going to be much more interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Less focus group driven. So.
Oh my god.
So after these interactive awards, we have music direction.
And is that a new category this year? Music direction, or?
I think it's been there before.
Oh, it's music supervision. That's new. Music supervision's new. I apologize.
Oh, okay. There's so many of those music categories, and sometimes it feels like they would cover the same thing that you just sort of think. It's hard to keep track sometimes.
Yeah, it's not. Music supervision is not on the list tonight, and that's probably because it is a new category, and Big Little Lies and Stranger Things are in that kind of.
So, who are the nominees for music direction?
I have them up.
We also have another winner, though.
Oh,
we
go
do
for
know.
it.
Let's go to the winner first, then we'll go to the music direction. Who is it, Charles?
Unscripted interactive media within an unscripted program goes to the Oscars All Access.
Yeah, not a surprise.
No.
So, is that a win for the Oscars? I'm gonna give it to him.
No, that's E. Oh, that's the Oscars, not E. Okay.
The Oscars, not E. E's coverage didn't win.
Okay, so for music direction, we have American Epic, the American Epic Sessions, Joshua Bell, Seasons of Cuba, live from Lincoln Center, Staying Alive, a Grammy salute to the music of the Bee Gees, the Super Bowl, I don't know how to read numerical numbers this high up, halftime show starring Lady Gaga, Taking the Stage, African American music and stories that changed America, and Tony Bennett, Tony Bennett celebrates 90, excuse me, the best is yet to come.
I believe, what is the Roman numeral, Amanda, for the Super Bowl?
L-I?
That's
I don't.
51.
51.
Oh, sorry, I don't watch.
Right.
I'm the football guy, so.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
So.
Interesting with the music direction, if American Epic wins, we will that will make Emmy winners of both Jack White and T-Bone Burnett.
Interesting.
So that moves them closer. I'll move T-Bone Burnett closer to an EGOT himself. He has a Grammy.
Oh, he has several.
Yeah,
he has several because he won. Probably the most prominent one was he won. He was the lead producer of the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" soundtrack. So he was one of the recipients of Album of the Year for that.
Yeah, it's very rare that they put a soundtrack in that. That was one of my favorite Emmys.
They've actually awarded. They've awarded 2 other soundtracks in Album of the Year. Saturday Night Fever and The Bodyguard both won Album of the Year.
That was one of my favorite Grammy wins. Was when "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" won, and everybody rushed the stage.
A slew of people went up. It was so
great.
And
the host. I don't remember who the host was. He said, "But not everyone's supposed to come up that's bought the album. Just the people." Wow.
It was Jon Stewart, actually.
Oh yeah, he was a great Grammy host. Not a good Oscar host.
Yeah, well, he was okay. I think he was all right as an Oscar. Not the best, but I thought he did okay. We've seen yours. So we've got music direction coming up. I can see the Super Bowl winning this, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like the kind of thing that the Super Bowl could win. It's technically a little bit more difficult since it's outside and they have to set up really quickly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what won in this category last year. I think it was the Danny Elfman celebration. I think he won in that category. And that makes me kind of think that the Joshua Bell might win. He's not nominated, but the Joshua Bell Seasons of Cuba live from Lincoln Center might win.
Yeah. No, very much so. What was I going to say? What's the category after that one?
It is interactive. Oh, nope, sorry. It's documentary nonfiction series, and I have the nominees.
Yeah, read them out. So this is a big category. This is the best series.
Yeah. This is one of my favorites. It's 30 for 30, ESPN, American Masters from PBS, Chef's Table from Netflix, Planet Earth 2, BBC America, and The Keepers, also from Netflix.
Feel like
this is a tough one.
It's a big category. This is the category won by The Jinx and one by Making a Murderer. Some of the best series on television from the past sort of 5 years. I think it's Planet Earth 2 or The Keepers. Is just my gut. Amanda, where are your thoughts here?
I like so many of these. I think. Gosh, I think it might be Planet Earth. But, I like the 30 for 30. I don't watch a lot of ESPN. Shocker, I know. But I do like that. Chef's Table is impeccably done, so it would be deserving also. It's a hard one because you could make the case for a lot of these. And congratulations to Rickey Minor taking the stage for winning music direction.
Okay.
Sorry.
Very good. No, that's fine. What was that for directing? Sorry.
Music direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What shows that though?
Rickey Minor taking the stage.
Oh, Rickey Minor taking the stage. Yeah, sorry. I thought you were reading out the name of the music director.
I thought you were. That is the name of the music director, but the name of the program is Taking the Stage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Rickey Minor from Taking the Stage. Yeah.
Well, when you first said that, I thought you were saying that Rickey Minor was taking the stage since he won.
Yes, that's what I heard too. Rickey Minor's taking the stage.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Oh, it's live TV, folks.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
That's why we're going to win best, I don't know, interactive direction next year or something like that. So, yeah, Charles, do you have a pick for best nonfiction series?
You know, I was thinking that The Keepers would win this, but this is really tough considering only one of these programs has won so far tonight, and that's Planet Earth 2. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with The Keepers. I'm going to stick with that.
I think it's one of those two, and there's such different shows. It's really hard to know where the voters are going to land here.
Yeah.
They're both so good in their own right as well. All the nominees are good, but those two I think are probably your front runners here. What category do we have after nonfiction series?
Oh, and it went to Planet Earth 2.
Planet Earth 2. They did
On
it.
the board with 3 now, is it?
I thought they've just won 2.
Yeah, no, there are 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
That's right.
Yeah. It's documentary filmmaking. So I have the nominees also.
I got them too. So can I go with this one?
Yeah, you go for it.
All right. It's Bright Lights starring Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds, LA 92, OJ Made in America, Oklahoma City, an episode of American Experience, and The White Helmets, which this pits both the Oscar winners of Best Documentary Feature and Documentary Short Subject against each other.
Oh, The White Helmets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both are really good. I would say though, I mean, I loved OJ Made in America, don't get me wrong, but I would personally love to see Oklahoma City. It's a fascinating documentary. It's on Netflix. If any of you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's fantastic. About McVeigh and the history of the militia movement in the U.S. and how that led up to the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995. It's a fascinating documentary. If you get a chance, you should see it.
If the Carrie Fisher documentary wins tonight, I'm going to switch her for Best Guest Actress. If they take down OJ, take down both the Oscar winners, I'm going to put her in first place for comedy guest actress. So I might be changing my predictions live in a few minutes.
What category is this? Sorry, again.
Filmmaking, documentary film.
Yeah, you know, as they
say. One of the
say,
things where I think the TV Academy and the Film Academy, they need to find a way to cut this out. Like, because what has to happen for these films, for any film, not to be nominated at both the Oscars and the Emmys? Why isn't Manchester by the Sea up? They might as well try to get that in there also. Casey Affleck could have won 2 awards. We could have sat through one more acceptance speech.
Yeah. So the category after this one is, Charles, one of your favorites, voiceover performance.
All right. I'm just typing an email very quickly.
Okay. Unbelievable. So I will read through the nominees for voice actor performance. Then I would be keen to hear Charles's thoughts on them. I've lost my tab.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Oh, and congratulations to...
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, this is just another email. This is just another tweet about Nat Geo winning. Never mind.
Okay, great.
Sorry, I apologize. Got a little excited.
Voiceover performance.
Oh, wait, no, hashtag LA92. Just one.
Okay. What was the... Yeah.
That's
documentary
amazing.
filmmaking. Wow. I apologize. Yeah, took down both Oscar winners and Carrie and Fisher and Debbie Reynolds.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a big win for Nat Geo. Maybe we're underestimating genius if this just happened.
Possibly. Our nominees for character voiceover performance, one of my favorite categories, as Matt was saying. We have D. Bradley Baker for American Dad. He plays Klaus, the family goldfish with the mind of a East German ski jumper. Kevin Kline for Bob's Burgers plays Mr. Fishoder, their landlord. Kristen Schaal for BoJack Horseman, playing Sarah Lynn. Mo Collins for playing several characters on F is for Family. Seth MacFarlane for Family Guy. He won this category last year. And Nancy Cartwright for The Simpsons. This is her first competitive nomination. She won back in 1992 as part of the Juried Awards, but has never been nominated for. So this is her first nomination.
Good for her. What does she voice?
She voiced Bart Simpson.
Shows again. I don't watch a lot of cartoons. I'm sorry.
He's the one with the.
Yeah, I've seen The Simpsons. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not as passionately as involved with the.
Okay, fair enough.
So
I can talk about production design for like an hour and a half. So.
Yeah,
I predicted Kevin Kline. He's been on this show on Bob's Burgers since season 1. Voicing Mr. Fishoder, and he's always brought a wonderful whimsicalness to the character. And it would not be an undeserving win, but my heart is with Kristen Schaal and her performance in BoJack Horseman. The episode she's nominated for, entitled "That's Too Much, Man," is so heartbreaking. And there's this scene where she is looking at herself and she goes, I don't like anything about myself and what I've become. And it just breaks your heart. And she's been doing great voice work for years. She was on, was it Gravity Falls? She was on that show. And she's also on Bob's Burgers. She plays Louise, the girl with who wears the little bunny ears. I would love it if she won. And if they're actually watching the episodes, I think she wins in a walk. But I think Kevin Kline, with the name recognition, will probably have a better edge here.
From the series that won Best Animated Series tonight too, so we know voters like Bob's Burgers as well. Sort of sort of the biggest name from the show that just won Best Series. Probably
Tony winner, Oscar winner.
Yeah. So I would agree with that assessment, but it'd be interesting to see.
You also have someone like D. Bradley Baker from American Dad. D. Bradley Baker has over 450 credits to his name on IMDb as a voice actor. So
that's what I always love. Oh, so go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say, like Maurice LaMarche, who won this category twice in a row for his work on Futurama. He's one of those types of people who has
and it goes to Seth MacFarlane for.
Oh, come on!
Don't break anything.
I'm not breaking anything. Not breaking anything.
Hand down.
I love Seth MacFarlane, but okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well.
I think partly a strength of Seth MacFarlane's on the show is voicing multiple characters.
And not just multiple characters, multiple main characters. Because Mo Collins...
he does Peter. Brian. Yeah. Where a lot of
Collins on F is for Family, she voices several characters, but they're all secondary characters. None of them are members of the primary family, so that probably hurt her in that.
Yeah, which is why like Hank Azaria has won this in the past, who does like Mo, Apu, like Chief Wiggum. He does all those guys. Nancy Cartwright, harder for her just doing Bart Simpson's voice to get maybe that sort of same respect.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news for you, Charles.
Yeah. Oh well, ho hum.
So, would you like to nominate?
I adore Seth MacFarlane. I think it's very unfair that he's straight, because everything about him should suggest that he bats for my team. But you you can't have everything in this world.
Yeah, unless it's Seth MacFarlane, who has another Emmy.
That's his fourth.
Yeah, fourth Emmy for Seth MacFarlane. Very good job. So, what is our next category, guys?
The documentary or nonfiction special. I have the nominees up if you'd like me to go for it. Okay. We have 13th, Vice, A House Divided Vice Special Report. Amanda Knox from Netflix. That's a documentary. LA Burning, The Riots 25 Years Later, and The Beatles, 8 Days a Week, The Touring Years.
What do you think, Charles?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm writing an article right now, so come back to me a little bit later. I'm sorry.
Okay. Amanda, what do you think? Oh, do we have a winner?
We have a winner, Ava DuVernay.
For?
13th.
13th. There we go.
So she lost the Oscar, won the Emmy.
And she lost the directing award earlier, too.
Yeah. Well, she's enlisted as a producer, so.
Good for her.
Our next category is?
It is variety sound mixing.
Variety sound mixing. And the nominees are?
Oh, hold on. I'm just pulling them up again. Oh, the nominees for variety sound mixing for a series or special are 2017 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony, the 59th Grammy Awards, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver for subprime auto loans, the Super Bowl halftime show for Lady Gaga, the Oscars, and The Voice for their season finale. So it's a loud category. So I would probably go with the Hall of Fame or the Grammys.
If we're going with one of these things doesn't look like the others, John Oliver is looking pretty good here.
Yeah, I would love to see that. That would probably be like, everybody would be like, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say that we, in this category, yeah, it's so hard because there's so many, like, you know, the Voice final, really strong. You got the Grammys, that was pretty big. Like, you got a whole lot of musical sort of stuff happening there. Do you have a pick, Amanda?
Probably either the Grammys or the halftime show, just because of the technical, all those live performances. And again, even though that the halftime show is only like 10 minutes, they have to get ready to do this pretty quickly, and they have to make sure that, you know, both the stadium and the audience at home can hear.
Yeah, I think it might be the halftime show would be what I'd predict here.
Yeah, and we've seen kind of a mixed reaction from, like, you know, they snubbed the Oscar winner and won, but they've awarded an Oscar also ran. So maybe they are kind of changing their minds about rubber stamping one over the other. We've seen a lot of that lately.
The Emmys have never been a huge awards of rubber stamping.
Well, I mean, as far as like, oh, they won the Oscar, now they won the Emmy for the same thing. So,
but when we've looked at TV awards like Golden Globes and stuff like that, and we looked at the Emmys, they've never seemed that excited about rubber stamping. So maybe not never, but in recent years, we haven't really seen a rush to rubber stamp other award shows, sort of stuff. So maybe it carries over to Oscars because we're in a bit of uncharted territory this year. We don't usually have Oscar winners at the Emmys.
We've had it the last couple of times, but it's
yeah, I guess you're right.
It's just one of those things where eventually they're gonna stop allowing it. It's just when.
Yeah. What's our next?
As we wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
After this one, it's nonfiction sound mixing.
Okay, what's the nonfiction sound mixing nominees?
Do you want to go, Charles, or do you want me?
Oh, you go.
Okay, so it's outstanding sound mixing for a nonfiction program, single or multicam series. 13th, Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown for the episode Rome. OJ Made in America for part 2. Planet Earth 2 for Cities, and the Beatles 8 Days a Week, the touring years. So I would probably give it to the Beatles because it's the more musical of the ones.
Yeah, I'd say Beatles too, but Planet Earth I think's in the mix too.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Charles, your opinion on either of those sound mixing races?
Not at the moment.
That's fine. What about, and what's the category after that, Amanda?
It's a really good one. It's one of our favorite. It's reality hosts.
Reality TV show hosts.
I
like it.
You have the nominees, don't you?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so caught up in everything. Yes, I do have those nominees. Okay.
You want me to do it, or?
No, Charles is doing it. He's got it there. Let's do it, Charles. Who are the reality host nominees?
We have Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg in a joint. Get it? Get it? Nomination for Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner Party. Gordon Ramsay for MasterChef Junior. Alec Baldwin for Match Game. Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn for Project Runway. RuPaul Charles for RuPaul's Drag Race, who won this last year. And W. Kamau Bell for United Shades of America with W. Kamau Bell.
I think
I'm going with.
Go Amanda.
I'm going with Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg.
No way, really?
After last year, I just went with the one that I think might have enough passion to go. Because let's face it, none of us were really thinking I was probably going to get nominated. So I just went with the one that seemed like it would have enough passion to carry it.
I think RuPaul's probably going to win again. That would be my prediction. Charles?
I would go with that. I wouldn't underestimate Alec Baldwin.
No.
For the novelty of it, I would love to see Martha and Snoop win. But I personally would love to see W. Kamau Bell win. He had a great show on FX years ago called Totally Biased, and now he has this new show on CNN, which is actually pretty solid. And I adore him. He's a great stand-up comic, and I would love to see him win this.
He's sort of my dark horse in this race. I really think he could upset here.
Yeah, I love that show on CNN, so it would definitely be interesting. It would definitely be a good winner.
Yeah, it would.
Oh, and it's a tie for variety sound mixing with it going to the Grammys and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay, there you go.
I think the Grammys have won this a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sure they have it, but yeah, another tie, so that's fun. What category at the main ceremony would we like to see a tie in?
Comedy supporting actor.
Ooh, with who for you?
Really, I like most of the people nominated in that category, so I don't really have someone that it has to be. But I think Tony Howell and Matt Walsh both had great seasons on Veep. I think Titus Burgess is fantastic in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Louis Anderson does a great job on Basket. I'm sort of that's the category where I think I'd love to see just two of those guys win rather than just having to be one of them.
And Charles?
Oh man, that is a tough one. I think I would like to see that in I think probably drama supporting actor. I would love to see both actually no, I would comedy supporting actress, I would love to see that. I would love to see both Kate McKinnon and Judith Light win.
Ooh, I like that.
What do you think, Amanda?
I'm going to go drama actress Claire Foy and Elizabeth Moss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, solid.
Although I wouldn't mind seeing Ron Cephas Jones tied with John Lithgow.
Yeah.
And I think John Lithgow would be gracious enough to let Ron Cephas Jones do most of the talking.
Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah.
If you've won 5 already, you don't have that many more people to see.
See, I wouldn't mind a tie of John Lithgow and David Harbour.
Ooh. But you remember that drama supporting actor has never had an African-American winner. So if either Jeffrey Wright or Ron Cephas Jones wins, they make history.
Yeah, that makes me feel bad now for saying I wanted to tie between two of the white nominees.
I'm sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to make you feel racist. I just wanted to point that out there. If you're looking for historic moments during the Emmys.
That would be cool. What is our category after? Any other thoughts on reality host? This is Gordon Ramsay's first nomination in reality host.
Oh, and nonfiction sound mixing went to the Beatles.
8 days a week.
8 days a week.
Not really a surprise there.
Nope, as expected.
So
after reality host, we have nonfiction writing.
So, does Gordon Ramsay have any shot here? Like, it's his first ever nomination.
I don't see why not. I honestly, it wouldn't shock me. I mean, RuPaul won last year with, I don't think any other nominations for his show.
And there were a lot of people thinking maybe Ryan Seacrest would take it last. I was in that category thinking maybe Ryan Seacrest would win for The Goodbye of American Idol. Would Jane Lynch win her third? And he had it. We saw that if you had the passion behind your nomination, you can definitely win that Emmy. And that's why I went with
Yeah.
You know, every now and then you got to go for the one that just makes you smile. And so I went with Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, who doesn't even have a Grammy.
I think.
Are you serious?
There was an article on Gold Derby. He's not a Grammy winner.
Wow.
Like, with the reality host category, you've got Jeff Probst won 4 times in a row. Jen Lynch won twice. Like, they've dominated this category. RuPaul won last year. Something that's really in common is they're quite active hosts. They're quite involved in the energy and momentum of the show. And that's the kind of thing applies to quite a few of the guys here, but particularly a Gordon Ramsay. It applies to RuPaul, it applies to Gordon Ramsay, where they involve themselves in the show and they're not just narrators and narrating what's happening. They're actually sort of almost active participants. And I think that is sort of what I look for when I'm looking in this category. It's like, who's actually a part of the show, not just telling us what's happening. I think that's why people like Ryan Seacrest or Phil Koenig from The Amazing Race have struggled in this. They're more just telling us what's happening or explaining things. And the winner, Amanda, is
RuPaul for the second year in a row.
Yeah. Not a surprise. I was looked to the
congratulations, RuPaul.
Host. Yeah, it's awesome.
Very good. Fantastic.
Shantae.
RuPaul's Drag, and that's their third win for the night for RuPaul's Drag Race.
Winning that, and remember when
he's very happy that Born This Way does not have a host.
When Jeff Probst won, it was under the tape system, so he always had the best episode. That was always arguably the problem with the rest of those, is that he would submit the one where somebody got hurt or something kind of happened, and he would be the hero of the episode, and that's, you know, all the goodwill in the world is not going to help you.
But you also had winners like Tom Bergeron for Dancing with the Stars, and, which are just puzzling.
That was,
you know,
after Jeff Probst fell out.
So yeah, that I think is the outlier sort of winner, like that. Him and maybe the winner the year after that.
Yeah, I think Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn won the next year. Kind of. She never does.
He's quite involved.
But he's when they added him to her. Yeah, that kind of helps them.
I think Tom Bergeron's your outlier winner in this category. When you look at who generally wins, it's people who are quite involved in the show and in
even Jane Lynch is very involved in what's going on. And
I'm also glad that they went with, you know, an actual reality show and not a game show, which is what Match Game is.
No, I agree.
I'm against Match Game. I love Match Game.
Our next category is
Nonfiction writing
program.
Go for it.
And we have our nominees are Amanda Knox, the Netflix documentary; Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, for the episode Houston; The Beatles, 8 Days a Week, The Touring Years; Bill Nye Saves the World for the episode The Sexual Spectrum; and 13th. That's what the episode is. Stop acting like you're in 8th grade health class, okay?
Sorry. We've been doing this for over an hour. That just made me laugh. Oh.
Unbelievable, Amanda. So,
do you expect any less from us, Matt? Honestly.
So, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 categories left to get through, guys. What I might do for the last sort of 20 minutes of this discussion, if Tony and Zach are out there, feel free to join us as we sort of wrap up the show.
And congratulations to 13th for winning nonfiction writing. So Ava DuVernay's
second.
I think this might be his third.
Her personal.
Oh, her personal second. I think that's the third win for 13th, though.
Yeah, because it won the song. It won the song category.
Yeah, it won the song as well. So yeah, so very good. Fantastic. So we've got 4 categories to go. The next one is structured reality program. That's sort of that's a pretty big one. That's another sort of series award. So what are our structured reality program nominees?
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
I'll take it.
Go for it.
Antiques Roadshow, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Fixer Upper, Lip Sync Battle, Shark Tank, and Who Do You Think You Are?
Not a fan of Fixer Upper, but you don't need to talk about
why
my
are the Property Brothers nominated?
I love the
on
Property
stage.
Brothers. Why I don't like Fixer Upper. I like the Property Brothers.
Yeah, we need to get the Property Brothers an Emmy.
See, that's what we should do. We should do an Emmy spotlight on them next year.
Yes.
Who do the Emmys like? Who do the Emmys like?
They love Shark Tank in this.
Yeah,
Shark Tank
Shark Tank.
2 years, I think.
No, I think this would be their 4th if they win.
And didn't the Undercover Boss win this one also for a couple of years also?
I think it won the first time, and then Shark Tank kind of took over.
Which, like, Undercover Boss is just a really long ad for a company.
Yeah, no, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I was like,
yes, because they changed the lives of these like 5 people that they come in contact with. That redeems them for everything wrong with our corporate culture in America. I'm sorry, I'm getting off on this right now, but no, I'm not going to go down that road.
Boy, that boss of Hooters was a really nice guy. What an upstanding organization.
Why did you have to pick the one that demeans women? Like, seriously?
Well, I intentionally picked that one.
Oh, and for the 4th year, it goes to Shark Tank.
Good on them.
Shark Tank.
That's a great show. That's a great show.
It's a really good show.
Yeah.
It's a great format.
But I'm with you, Charles. Let's get Property Brothers and
say what you want about Mark Burnett. He knows how to make a good reality show.
I got a lot to say about Mark Burnett.
We're living in one right now.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, but he's done a good job on Shark Tank.
If we're gonna deport anyone, I'd say we start with him.
Second,
putting us in this nightmare. Never mind.
Okay, let's not just reuse Jimmy Kimmel's stuff from last year's Emmys, guys. So,
but I have so many Jeb Bush jokes to get to.
Yeah.
Oh. I was going to recite Julia's speech about pushing him off the wall, but
okay. Let's get on to 3 categories to go. If my counting.
Sorry, my little boys, my dog's barking. Doesn't know.
It's all right. We've got Charlie looking after cats, Amanda looking after dogs, and all of us at Gold Derby looking after the coverage of the Creative Arts Emmy Awards. 3 categories to go tonight before we're all back here again.
I have the nominees up for the next one if you're ready.
Fantastic. Amanda, hit us up with them.
Picture editing for an unstructured reality program. So let's talk about vote splitting. We have Born This Way for The Times They Are Changing, Born This Way for Dreams Come True, Born This Way for Oh Baby, Deadliest Catch for Uncharted Territory. Isn't that every episode of Deadliest Catch?
Yeah.
And then Life Below Zero, River, or Rage. So if I were from Deadliest Catch or Life Below Zero and I couldn't win this, I would be super mad because that would be kind of a shock because of vote splitting. Drink responsibly if you're playing the game at home.
Yeah. Born This Way, though. Born This Way, though, has been quite popular tonight. It's got 2 wins under its belt. Would not shock me if that was able to overcome it. But yeah, like maybe it's something like a Deadliest Catch. Does
and it went to Life Below Zero from Nat Geo.
We have a winner. For unstructured picture editing is Life Below Zero.
Yes, thanks, guys. So we got Life Below Zero. Is that its first win or second win for the night for Life Below Zero?
I don't know.
No.
I think that's at least its. That might be its first, actually.
Might be its first.
Yeah, I think it's its first.
Yeah, great job to the Life Below Zero picture editors there. We've got 2 more categories. The next one is unstructured reality program. So we just with Shark Tank had the structured reality program. They follow a structure. They're like someone comes in, they pitch a deal. Mark Cuban decides whether he likes it or not, and that's pretty much how it works.
Mark Cuban is always my favorite. Sorry.
Yeah, he's good TV. He's good TV.
Yeah.
So
he should be president. Why not?
He's looking at it.
I'm sure Mark Cuban agrees with you on that. So, what are the nominees for unstructured reality program? A reality program that doesn't have a clear structure.
I have them.
You take this, I'll take the next one.
Okay, that sounds good. So we have Born This Way, Deadliest Catch, Gaycation with Ellen Page, Intervention, RuPaul's Drag Race Untucked, sorry, and United Shades of oh gosh, United Shades of America with W. Kamau Bell.
Is Born This Way win this?
I think so. It's Born This Way, but I would love to hear somebody say Untucked is an Emmy win.
I would love for W. Kamau Bell to win this.
I would love that too.
That show is so good, but I think Born This Way is probably the safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful show.
And they've had a really good night. How many are they at already?
3.
2?
Oh, 2. I'm sorry.
I think the tally says 2. So unless I've missed one.
I love the tally board so much.
I missed the other board.
It's divided. We've got a house divided.
See, we need to get you one of those screens that they have at all the news networks where you can analyze races just by touching them.
Yeah. We
need the Steve Kornacki board and everything on MSNBC.
That is my dream, to have an interactive Emmy board.
And if this happens, then this race will change.
And then at some point, it just freezes on you like, okay, this is not coming up. So you get to have that awkward moment of like 3 minutes of you just hitting the same thing on the board over and over again.
Yeah.
We'll shave Matt's head and give him some glasses, and we'll call him Steve Kornacki.
Oh gosh.
Steve Kornacki's not bald.
Yeah, like what's the shaving the head thing?
Just haircut. I meant a haircut.
Oh, haircut. I got it.
You don't like his hair as is? Like, come on.
I love Matt's hair. Matt, I love your hair.
Oh god.
Oh well, boy, I'm really handwriting has gotten criticized. Hair has been complimented. I'm on par.
Actually, your handwriting is better than a lot of my students, so you're doing good.
But you're a teacher, so let's see your handwriting, Tony. Let's have a picture off.
I don't have a whiteboard at my disposal.
You don't have any paper and a pen?
Oh man, I was really hoping.
This is what all of these just evolve into, is just us griping at each other.
I was really hoping we had the next winner.
Yeah. I guess that whoever won sound editing or picture editing is going to be a really long acceptance speech because
those time hogging picture editors.
I know they want to keep everything short except their acceptance speech.
So our last award for the night is going to be the Special Class Program Award. Charles, who are the nominees going to be for that one?
Nominees are Hairspray Live, the Oscars, Super Bowl 51 halftime show starring Lady Gaga, and the 70th annual Tony Awards.
I'm going to go with the Oscars this year.
I'm going to go with I want it to be the Oscars, but I'm going to go with Hairspray Live because they actually started picking up some of those wins. But I would love it to be the Oscars because even when you get beyond the craziness of what happened at the end of the ceremony, this year's Oscars was a very well done show. Glenn Weiss deservedly won that Emmy for directing the ceremony. It was very well done, well put together, well structured.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that make Jimmy Kimmel an Emmy winner if the Oscars win?
Yes, it would.
And he handled that situation beautifully, so I definitely.
We have a winner. Yes.
Go for it.
We have a winner for Unstructured Reality Program.
All right.
W. Kamau Bell for United Shades of America.
All right.
That is a beautiful win.
Fantastic
I love that
win.
show. It's
and
so
upset.
It's a great show.
After a very strong opening tonight for Born This Way, they stumble at the final hurdle and the United Shades of America. After not winning Best Variety Host, which I thought Kamal Bell was
did they pick up anything else along the way? I don't think they did.
And this is their first win for the night.
So we've seen that we've seen that there's just passion for the show. You don't need to pick up a lot of other nominations. That's something to think about for drama series and comedy series and
comedy series and limited series.
Yeah. To be fair, though, this was not a show that we saw with a heap of nominations.
But it didn't pick up anything else, is my point.
No. How many other categories was it nominated in, though?
I think it was just those two.
Yeah, so it's not like we saw it losing a lot tonight in other races.
But it overcame shows that had a lot more going on. Yeah, so I think for something like This Is Us, if all those shows cancel themselves out tomorrow night, that could put them in a really good situation to pull off something that is usually on paper not possible.
I think that I think that's the same for both This Is Us, Atlanta, The Crown. I think that, you know, if you have, you know, if there's a show that people are passionate about, you don't necessarily need to have all those big nominations in order to win.
Or big wins, or yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, we have had shows that have won Outstanding Series as their sole win. I believe, Matt, West Wing won directing its 4th year.
Yes, you're right.
Hairstyling and Mad Men.
Did the Office win anything?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And Sex and the City, when they won,
Sex and the City, yeah.
I don't believe they had any other wins that evening.
Yeah.
Which made that win even more shocking. It's still one that I
don't think Normal Heart won a lot also on the TV movie limited series side.
That is all it won.
Yeah. To jump ahead to tomorrow, we could see Westworld have a very good day tomorrow, but then a not so great day in a week's time.
Well, Westworld. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we sometimes see that at the Emmys where you can perform really well at the Creative Arts, then not perform well at the prime times the week later. We saw, we've seen shows, Boardwalk Empire is the most sort of notable example.
But no one was expecting Boardwalk Empire when it went on those runs to really still take drama series. I would say look out tomorrow to see how does Westworld do head-to-head against other drama series nominees. How do all of these shows do head-to-head against each other? That's what.
And we have the final winner of the night.
Yep.
Final winner is the 70th annual Tony Awards.
Oh, Tony Awards.
James Corden had a great night.
Glenn Weiss wins his 2nd of the evening also.
Yep.
Yes. So great night for James Corden. Great night. Tony's it was a really good show for the Tonys this year. I do agree with you guys.
The Oscars would have
been very deserving. What? Sorry?
They're not going to win next year.
Probably not. So.
No, and that win for the Tony Awards actually it's something that I was predicting mainly because that particular ceremony had so many emotional factors going for it. Not only was Hamilton at the peak of its status as a cultural phenomenon, but that was also this very day of the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando. And so that kind of had a very big emotional significance. James Corden opened the evening with that very touching speech at the beginning, and it was weaved all the way throughout the evening. So it really doesn't surprise me that it was able to, that the Tony Awards was able to win. And it is the biggest winner in this category. This is his 8th win in this category. It was on a 5-year run from 2010 to 2014. And so, you know, congrats to Corden. A good night for James Corden again.
Yeah, I missed him hosting this year. Oh, I missed him.
Yeah, he opened the show fantastically. His musical number and everything was really strong. A great year, actually, for awards, I feel like, the past year. I think the Oscars were fantastic. I think the Tonys were fantastic. I think Jimmy Kimmel did a great job at the Emmys as well last year. Like, I think it's been a really, really strong year for awards fans. So there we have it, guys. That's tonight done. But tomorrow, we're all going to come back, same time, same place, and break down sorry, not just break down. We're going to break down and announce the winners. And I feel like tonight was the perfect sort of entree for what we're going to have tomorrow night, where we have the Guest Acting Awards. We've got the Performance and Interactive Short Format Acting Awards. We've got people like Ty Burrell and Alan Tudyk and people nominated. We're going to have and all the series awards. So we're going to see Stranger Things going head to head with Westworld, The Crown taking on Better Call Saul. We're going to see
The Crown's going to be taking on Feud. Look for that. We're going to have a royalty smackdown tomorrow night.
Yeah, royalty smackdown. The Hollywood royalty takes on the British royalty. We're going to see what are we going to see? We're going to see Veep is going to start its assault at the Emmys this year. We're going to see Big Little Lies versus The Night Of, versus Feud. There's like so much stuff I'm excited to talk about tomorrow. Let's go down the line. Everyone to say what you're anticipating for tomorrow night, what you're sort of is at the forefront of your mind. Charles.
Oh God, you know, I think we're going to see big wins by Westworld, and I think we're going to see some surprise wins by Stranger Things.
Yeah. What do you think, Tony?
I'm going to steal a page from Riley Chow, and I'm going to be looking at a few things. Number one, the casting categories. I'm also going to be looking really closely at those comedy guest acting categories to see how predominant SNL is, or see if Hugh Laurie finally wins his first Emmy, which as a big House fan, I'm dying for him to win.
Yeah. Amanda?
How, on the drama side, do they compete against each other? And then also, when they are the sole drama nominee, do they automatically win? Because I want to see if, like at the Oscars and their expanded Best Picture race, if you're nominated for Best Picture, you seem to tend to win in all the categories below that. So I'm looking for how they compete together and how do they compete when they're the only nominee. And then same thing on the limited series movie side. How does Feud, The Night Of, Big Little Lies compete when they're nominated against each other? But I want to see Gerald McCraney win an Emmy.
Yeah,
I think Chris will be heard from the press room if he doesn't win.
Yeah. Yeah,
that will be an awesome night. But I'm switching to Tom Hanks for SNL because I don't think he's going home empty-handed if he's showing up to that thing. So,
did they know he was turning up when the ballots were due?
I don't know, but it just seems like one of those things where he doesn't usually fit the type of the person who would show up to this unless he...
Well, he's been nominated several times as a producer for a lot of miniseries that have been up at the Creative Arts, so he's usually there if something that he's a part of is nominated.
I think he's a part of Genius, but...
Yeah. But anyway, look, I think it's going to be really interesting because Game of Thrones has dominated the Creative Arts so much the past 2 seasons, and they've gone on to win drama series. So we have a vacuum in both of those areas this year, and it'll be interesting to see what fills it, considering there are so many. The Crown, most expensive television show in history, and Westworld, which is the nomination leader heading in. Like, which of those shows is going to take out the most trophies? And then I think it was Charles said, you've then got Stranger Things to worry about.
Look for Best Visual Effects. That's going to have its first new winner in 5 years. So it'll be interesting to see if they go for a new program or if some of these, like, just to piggyback off what you said, Matt, about Game of Thrones not being in there. It's going to be interesting to see how many of those categories that Game of Thrones has won 3 out of 5 years, 3 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 4 out of 6 kind of years. Do they go for nominees that have been also ran for a couple years, or are they just going to go for like Westworld or Stranger Things or?
Yeah. And voting has been broadened since for the last 2 years, and Game of Thrones has swept both of those years. Or they had large sweep, not Colbert. They haven't won every category, but they've done very well, which has led us to think this new voting is more open to more like sort of consistent sort of things. Without Game of Thrones, it'll be a good to see if that continues, or if that was maybe just a Game of Thrones thing. Was it just like they really like Game of Thrones the last years, or we see a Westworld or a Crown or a Stranger Things just win a lot more than we've been used to, than we saw 3 or 4 years ago at the Emmys?
To be fair to Game of Thrones, they have won a lot of those categories even under the ranked system.
Yes, they just hadn't won them all in the same year before.
Sure. Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Just to be fair to them, that it wasn't like they just won all these other ones.
Yeah. It's not like, oh yeah, now we like Game of Thrones. It was a show they liked beforehand. What last thing, looking back at tonight, what do you think the headline is coming out of tonight's Emmy Awards? Amanda.
13th wins big. OJ stumbles at finish line. And Mandy Moore won an Emmy.
Yeah.
Sorry, very excited.
Yeah. What do you think, Tony? What's the headline of today?
Well, what was the final tally on Saturday Night Live? The SNL is blocked behind your
3.
Okay, so it won 3 tonight. I can say that my favorite win of the night was W. Kamau Bell, but I think we've learned tonight that James Corden is very, very loved at the Emmys, and but I do think that there's a room for a lot of surprises to happen in tomorrow and especially next week. Particularly for something like W. Kamau Bell, a show that didn't have that many nominations going in, and The Passion brought it the series prize.
Yeah. Charles, headline of tonight?
Headline of tonight. I just love saying that while I'm stroking my cat. Makes me feel like a Bond villain.
Yeah, you do look very villainous.
This is my 25-pound friend right here. Headline of tonight is good night for RuPaul, and good night for the Tony, and good night for James Corden. We don't have any news. You know, it's interesting how they had all the races for variety reality show. There you go. Variety and reality programs were tonight, and I think it's a good night for. I think it's a good night for them. It's weird that we didn't have a reality competition show. Oh wait, they present that during the main telecast. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, RuPaul's starting to look like a good pick maybe for that.
Well, I've had it in there since the nominations came out.
See, I still had The Voice, but now I'm thinking about.
No, I'm like you. I have The Voice in there still.
Yeah. But I'm thinking about swapping.
We've got a week to mull it over. It's always best not to make knee-jerk reactions to things, but I agree with you guys. I think the big headline is James Corden and RuPaul, big Emmy winners tonight.
And Glenn Weiss. I think we should, Glenn Weiss, who's going to be directing the ceremony next week. Mm-hmm. Good night for him. He has 2 more. I don't know how many Emmys he has. He has a ridiculous amount. I'm wondering, just is his house just like littered with them, and does he just like find them randomly while like, you know, walking from his bedroom, you know, to the bathroom? He goes, oh, there's my Emmy from 2007 or something like that, you know?
Yeah. No, good point. So that's our show for tonight. We have covered over, I guess, 3 hours, 3+ hours. We have covered all the winners from tonight's Creative Arts. We are back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, goldderby.com. Can't wait to see you there. Thanks for watching. Bye.